damn it! God damn it!
Oh, we know who to blame. Captain over here.
What's up,
See,
Captain?
that's the problem when you got a fucking pirate as a damn ringleader.
Not tech savvy. That's all right. I couldn't get my mic.
Yeah, I just have to hit the fucking button. There's more than one button, and I hit the wrong goddamn button.
This is what I'm talking about. Speed bumps, like before we had been talking for like 20 minutes. Now,
So wait a second.
That wasn't too bad. That was only like 5.
Yeah.
No, so you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this shit over. I'm gonna do this shit over. I'm gonna do this shit over. There we fucking go.
Take 3.
That's how it's supposed to be done. Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome, everybody, to Discourse Syndicate. I'm RG3. My buddy, Hex Jesus.
Lietcoin Moses.
Motley Investor.
Hex Jesus, yes.
Motley Investor hanging out with us today. Awesome. Yep. So tonight is not just the regular Discourse Syndicate. Tonight, folks, is the FN Hangout. And that stands for the Friday Night Hangout. Every Friday night, we're going to be hanging out here and letting anybody, free for all, come on the show. Haters, like lovers, anybody who wants to get up here, speak your piece, say what you want. We allow cursing on the show, like we were just talking about earlier.
Thank God.
Well, look, I don't hold it against anybody, but I can't hold my own tongue, so I
can't either.
I'm a truck driver, so
you were a Marine too before that, right?
Yeah, Marine,
Yeah.
truck driver, millwright. So move heavy equipment.
I didn't know you were a head truck driver.
Well, when you're a millwright, you move heavy equipment. So part of the whole deal was I had a Class A license, so I drove a truck around too. Eventually, I ended up in a rigging truck, what they call, but small. But yeah, I drove a Class A vehicle for many years, heavy, wide, long, whatever. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Nice.
My stupid.
But don't be modest, dude. You're one of the generals in the Hex force, man.
You know what? I am. Now I'm going to take it and own it. So yeah, I'm a general in the Hex force.
Just like the Space Force, do Space
Whatever.
Force. Hex
Well,
Force?
I saw my liking on an app the other day. Somebody made an app. There's an app coming out, and we'll get to talk about that, coming up. But they have the community, and I saw them scrolling through it on the Telegram, and my face is on there. So I was like, oh,
Nice.
That's cool. I was liking the app anyway, and then my face showed up. So I was like,
It ruined it for you.
it's even fucking cooler now.
Yeah, I just got off the ship with his life.
But he's the guy that does the whole Space Force deal too. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
And he's got merchandise and all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna get to talk about that sometime.
Cool.
But I creep and crawl and slither in all the communities. So all you guys out there know that RG3 is rolling around in your communities, watching your stuff, getting in your dApps, playing with your stuff, your slimy, dirty, nasty shrimp eggs and everything else out there. I'm crawling in it.
No thanks. No thanks.
I play with it. I play with it all. I'm messing with it all.
I haven't messed with it yet.
Using my hex, moving my hex around. Just
I'm scared to touch anything after seeing everyone losing
Right.
stuff, entering these pools and stuff. It's just not for me.
yeah, I know that pool thing went
It's not worth
sour,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Was that the original pool that came out?
No,
don't
it was
think
a
it
different pool. It was
Yeah.
a different pool.
Okay.
It is not the original pool. It was another one. But if you go into Richard's post, if you go into Hex News channel, you can see his post exactly which one it was. But I'm not a coder and I don't understand how to read code
Oh, code.
at all. But I know that the projects that are built on a smart contract and all that, they have a little more legitimacy to them, I guess. So there's some things out there like Hex Run that has a contract attached to it and all these other things. So I'm not endorsing any of those things at this point, but I do know that there's some hard work going behind them. So I wanted to say something about that. So I've been on look, Hexologist he's a freaking awesome dude. Like I said, he helped us start this thing, and he does a show every day. Works his ass off, hardest working
Crazy.
guy.
Yep.
And he protects his show and says, "Hey, I'm here to promote Hex. This is what it's about." And I understand his
Position.
his position on it, and he has every right to that, and that's perfect. I, on the other hand, like to rub elbows with the slime and the scum and the the back alleys and
thanks, man.
casinos and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So, but I'm not speaking ill of those things. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I like the riskier side of everything, just to look at it and see what people are doing. Because I'm going to be honest with you, those people are doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And there may be some scammers out there, and there may be some people doing some bad shit, and maybe people doing some shady shit or whatever. But there's people out there working hard. I mean, I've watched some of these chat rooms or some of these programs that are going on, and these guys are, they're putting their nose to the grindstone and working all through the night and putting their programs together and doing stuff. So I'm seeing the work being done. So there's something to be said about all that. And they deserve that respect. So all of you people in these chat rooms that are like Hex maximalists, you guys are turning into jerkwads. Just to let you
Hex Maximus.
it is. It's like
Yeah.
You get shit on by the whole crypto community, and then you're going to go shit on other people that are working. I think fucking not.
Yeah.
You might want to think about that before you start spouting off at the fucking mouth in these chat rooms about other people's projects, because you don't know. Because I see in the main chat, and I understand that, we don't want to be in main chat and in Telegram. We don't want to be shilling everybody's shit and all that and whatever. But some of the comments that I'm seeing from some of you people, you guys need to chill on them. Hey, move them over to the to the other chat rooms where all that stuff belongs or whatever. And Richard's even allowed some of them to shill in the main chat. And there was a certain amount of it he allowed to go on. But, you know, all this stuff, you guys calling them scams and saying all this shit, you might want to rethink your wording, because if you don't fucking, can't remember just a few weeks ago, Hex is still being called a scam by everybody else out there. Yeah. And you guys are all crying about somebody getting on stream with Richard and calling him a scammer. So before you start throwing that word around too with the other people that are out there working and doing things on Hex, you might want to just, keep it to yourself for now until you go out and discover what it is that they're doing, or, what kind of work they're putting into their projects. So I've seen some people call some things scams that really aren't scams. They're gambling games or whatever, but they're doing something. They're working and they're being entrepreneurial. Yeah. So that's my little fuck off to you guys in the chat rooms that are talking shit about everybody else's projects.
Yep. Even I'm starting to look into them a little bit now too, because I was like grandpa hexologist over here, going into the AA only and staking my hex.
There is nothing wrong with that. I don't have anything wrong with that. Yeah. But I wanted to play with Hex. I wanted to move it around. I wanted to see how, if I'm going to get on a show where I'm going to talk about everything Hex and have everybody on this show and allow them to talk and speak their piece, I better know a little bit about things before I say anything ill about them or whatever, So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, this project really taught me that lesson, because I was getting shit on by every community the minute I started talking about X. Fuck.
Lietcoin.
Yeah. I got shit even just for having Lietcoin in my name or anything.
Well, when you're doing 100x in a market that's all going down, we expect.
I know. It's
yeah.
When did you hear about Hex, Motley?
From the beginning.
Nice.
Yeah, I was following Richard before he was even developing a crypto. So I think I came across him back when he did his Doug Poke video, his poker video, why like poker was like a negative sum game and everything. And I was a big poker fan. That's why I was watching Doug Poke. And I saw Richard Hart coming on. I was like, wow, this dude's really smart, really intelligent, was able to bring up like some points about poker, which I really enjoy, and made me second think it a little bit. So I was like, this dude's really smart. So I started following him since that day, and Bitcoin maximalist at the time, all that stuff. And then just followed him through his self-help books. And then he started building crypto coins. I think he initially was starting off a path down something else about like using the computing power to do like high physics equations or something like that. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad it didn't work out, because then he moved on to Hex, which I think is a much I don't want to say simpler, but I think for what he wanted to achieve, it was simpler. Turned out it still took 2 years to make, but yeah. Been there.
His heart was in the right place though with that other token. He was trying to do something with that computing power.
But the fact that it took as long as it did tells you that they did their due diligence. All the things that you hear
and the audits and everything.
It's not easy to do. It's not an easy thing to do. I've built software, and I personally, like I said, not me, but my team, my developers built software, and it was problem after problem after snag after snag after, well, this thing didn't work. Well, this thing didn't work. And going back and fixing it and unfucking it. And, and that's software. That's programming. That's what it is. And if you do it right, it takes a long time, and you don't launch when you wanted to launch.
Yeah. One bug ruins it. Once he locks that contract, one bug ruins the whole thing.
And it could open a whole bunch of other little paths to different things that are wrong that you have to backtrack and redo shit. And man, I've been through it. I know but to do it right, you got to say, fuck the deadline. Fuck everything else. I'm going to make sure it's right. When it's right, it will release it, So that tells me there that that was another good sign, that it was late, that they did have problems and they did go back and fix them. That's reality right there.
That's why I FOMO'd on day one, even though Richard Hart said not to.
I'm lucky I was asleep. That's all I can say. I'm lucky that I fell asleep on Hex for like a month.
After 2 years, I was like, day one, I was so excited. After that, though, I laddered in every day, but for like 40 days. But that first day went a little crazy. Just because I wanted to use it. I wanted to start staking it, start messing around with it, everything. And I didn't feel like I would get enough if I just kept putting more ETH in on that first day.
If I could ask, as a percentage of the total ETH you invested in the 40 days, how much did you FOMO on the first day?
Let's see.
You don't have to give a number. Just a percentage.
I mean, from the beginning, probably a fifth, but I've been buying some more since then. So probably about a fifth of my stack was FOMO'd on the first day. Yeah. Even, you know, I respect Richard and his advice and everything like that, but
yo,
Cutthroat.
Yo.
What's up, Ryan?
What's going on?
Oh, my little thing cut your name off. I put a little.
Oh yeah, I see
that's all you need is win.
Your
win. Dot win.
So that's the treasure map that's burned out so that you can't see where the treasure is. Where the treasure.
There we go.
You get it? Get it? That's burned up treasure map. Where the treasure? Boom.
Yeah.
Where the map? How to get to the treasure?
Yeah, it's a burned treasure map. So you can never find the treasure. It's a hidden secret.
But here we are.
We're
going to take you there. Lietcoin Moses is going to take you to the promised land.
There we go.
Might take 40 years, but
yeah. Well,
how about 15?
How about 15? 5,555.
Yeah. I actually had a joke about that. Like originally when I said like the whole Moses thing, I said I said like 1 month in crypto is like a year on the stock market. So I said I'll be here with you for the next 5 years to get you through to the promised land.
It's true though. Yeah. Even though the stock market's been doing really well.
It's been crazy, man. It's turning into like crypto, up and down. It's like what the heck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
I'm completely out of stocks, man.
Stocks,
I sold out.
Me too.
I sold out in January, I think.
Yeah, I pulled out a lot of my stuff just to keep investing more in Hex.
I pulled everything out. 401k out.
I didn't go that far, but
everything.
Moved to Mexico and
yeah, just out, bounce.
It's the project to do it on. That's for sure.
Yeah, but you know what? I joined a little bit kind of late. I think I was listening, Motley. I think you were saying about kind of how much you put in or something. I think you were telling a story when I joined, or
I was just saying, been in since the beginning. FOMO day one. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world because after that I laddered in for like 30, 40 days. So I caught some of those big days, million Hex days, which are amazing. And kind of, it still hurts today to like buy some Hex and just see how little you get.
I know.
It's crazy.
It kills me every time. I can't help it, even though I'm still way green. But it's just every time I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I had a bag of powder that I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna keep it. And it's like, man, oh my god.
Yeah. Every time I don't follow my gut, I get like. I wreck myself. Not listening to my gut.
I listen to my head every time, and it always fucks me.
This project has
which head though?
Change the space, so you got to do it.
Yeah. Just go all in, man. You got to go all in on Hex. Got to go all in on Hex. That's what I say to everybody.
You really do probably get like 1 or 2 opportunities in your life to get into a project that's going to generate you life-changing wealth. Like it doesn't come around, so you got to be ready for it.
Yeah,
damn right.
Damn right.
Yeah.
It's still early.
Yeah, it's way early.
You know, my age, I've been around for a couple of them, only because, like I said, I'm like a rat, you know, sniffing around on all the freaking garbage cans and shit. I'm looking for shit all the time.
Come across some good stuff.
I've had a couple of, you know, Microsoft moments or whatever, you know, and I failed miserably at them, but this one I do believe is one of those moments. I've seen these moments come. And this is one of those Microsoft moments because the steadiness of it, it's just once you've looked at Hex and you've looked at the details of it, you go, holy shit, the possibilities of something this solid in crypto. There is nothing this solid in crypto, period. End of story. I'm not talking about price. I'm not talking about appreciation. I'm talking about valuation. I'm not talking about speculation. I'm talking about a solid crypto project. There is nothing in crypto that's this solid. No. Period. End of story.
Yeah, I agree. And whenever I look for like, you know, just looking through altcoins or different projects, and I just can't really, it's hard to get excited once you've got so deep into Hex and you've kind of just seen all that mathematical, all the game theory, and it's just like a completely new system. And it's hard to get excited about new projects. You know?
Can't do anything with it. Most like what's out there, you can't do anything with it. It's just grab it, hold it. I mean, Hex is the same way, but the game theory that goes along with it is just another level. The whole another level.
Crazy.
And it seems so simple, the game theory, And the more you get into it, you're
Until you
like,
get
God
into it.
damn, dude.
Till you're Alice and fall down the freaking rabbit hole, then
I've been
it's not
telling
simple anymore.
The
I've been telling people
super
to read
rabbit
that
hole.
book. I've been telling
I've
people
been-
to read the Dune book because
I've been
that's-
unstaking. I've been
that's what it
unstaking
feels.
my large stakes. Once I come up on 50%, I've been unstaking them, and I've been just increasing my ladders, going all the way up to 555.
Nice.
Just
So
I've been
so
doing
you're
it
that
every time.
Giga Chad that was doing that.
Yeah, I've been doing it
Giga
with
Chad.
every time I
Giga
come
Chad.
up to my large stake, I end stake it and I do a long ladder going out to 555.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, really.
I got stuff
awesome.
coming out every month, so like I had what was it during y'all's like 24-hour live stream? That one guy was talking about doing the ladder. I think it was Patrick. I think it was Patrick. I can't remember what his screen name was, but he just decreased his principal as he went all the way out to 555. You know, you're still generating the same amount as your share value goes up out that way. And I've just been doing that nonstop.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you're not tempted to unstake that giant stake you have 5 years out when you have stuff coming out every month. It makes sense.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just kind of hard because that's like, man, that's a long time frame. 15.2 years. I mean,
Fuck yeah, that's a long time.
you're just like, wow. For people that are doing the 5 days time frame, which I think is great. I think still it's important that you got to get those like the mid range and the short range, just kind of get them all average and don't do like one big one because it'll be too emotional. And as long as
It's
you kind
too
of
hard to hold.
yeah, it's too hard.
Yeah.
If you have them split up throughout it, I think you'll be straight.
That's another part of the whole game theory, like making it easier to have strong hands, as Hexo would say,
Yeah, you gotta
make it easier on yourself. Strong hands.
Yeah.
strong hands.
Dude, I think I was in 10th or 11th grade 15 years ago.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think I'm old now. I'm gonna be really old in 15 years.
Dude, it's mind like I can get my head around 10 years so easily, but 15 is a mind trip, dude.
That's
It really I
man.
still YOLO'd some, but
Ain't shit for you guys. Ain't shit. I'm telling you, it's gonna fucking go like that. You'll be like going, God damn, where did my time and my sexy go? Where did it go?
I'm gonna talk to RG3 in the retirement home and stuff in like 3 15-year stakes from now, being like,
You guys better all come visit me, man. When
in the retirement home.
you guys are gonna be like, wait,
He'll be blinged out though. He'll be
is
in
he
his gold
insane enough? We
wheelchair.
can make you get that freaking private key from him.
he's gonna own all of Costa Rica by then.
Yeah.
There you
It'll
go.
be an old folks home in Costa Rica on the beach, motherfuckers. On the
Good
beach.
move.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'll be down
So
there.
we got another guest coming in. I have never seen what we got here. Hey,
Cool.
Hey,
Another new guy.
Hey, what's up, man?
what's going on?
how do you say that? Ballet brand?
Yeah, it's Ballet brand.
Oh, Bally app brand. Yeah.
Valiant.
Ballet brand.
Nice, man.
Okay.
Welcome.
Not a. It's Ballet brand. I mean, it's French though, so you could say ballet, ballier. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, brand.
Brand.
Thanks.
Keep it simple, brand.
Right. There we go. Nice.
Right on. Your mic's a little bit muffled.
Okay. Let me see if I can switch to. Let me see if I can switch cameras real quick here. Or sorry, switch microphones.
Damn, comments are blowing up. What's going on? Let's see.
I'm looking too.
Let's see. Comment. Welcome to the crew. I love Costa Rica.
Man, everyone's judging the close today, man. Holy shit.
What'd they say?
Oh, they were just saying like me. I'm wearing a life preserver, and they're like, they don't know.
Yo,
Drowning in
I
a
was
sea of
gonna
hex.
say, bro, it does look kind of like a life preserver with the little
No.
button on the front of it and shit.
Shit, man. What is this? The 1950s, man? Are we in the like Back to the Future movie? Like
Back to the Future.
Marty McFly, man. Shit.
Rocket.
Hell yeah. I'm still getting that DeLorean. Watch. You'll see. That DeLorean's gonna be tricked out. I will
23
swap the
window
engine
bus,
out.
baby. 23 window. Cruising down the beach. All right. So, did anybody see this article from? I think it was CoinDesk. It said, with low interest rates having removed one of the few remaining incentives for holding a bank account, people could soon move to digital currency, a UN expert says.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like
Wow.
it's going to be good for Hex.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I just saw there was like a John McAfee article. Was that in Cointelegraph? I don't know if you guys saw
Oh,
that.
that one. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
he
know
said he talked about Hex in it, but I didn't see where. I just saw somebody said that he talked about Hex.
He mentioned
yeah.
his coin Ghost and Hex, saying they were essentially had the ability to bring in like new users and could be like the new big coins in the space.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
That was cool. Yeah. He's a crazy guy.
Oh yeah,
My crazy fucking uncle, my crazy crypto uncle.
I'm sure he'd be fun to hang with if you could find him.
We hit 1,000 subs, and I'm gonna invite. He'll like if you get 1,000 or plus subs, he'll come.
He'll come on with you.
Nice.
Yeah, I've heard that.
There you go.
So I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Franklin coming in. Hold on a second.
Nice.
Can't do without Franklin.
Full house.
What's up,
Franklin.
y'all?
Yo.
What's up, Franklin?
Franklin,
I'm
what's
doing,
going on,
y'all?
man?
Nothing
What's
much,
up,
man?
Chilling,
Haven't seen
bro.
you since the 24-hour.
Yeah, man. I've been busy
Resting.
working.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good. Chilling.
Awesome.
Yeah, actually, I think we were on at the same time last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I just missed Richard.
Yeah, me too,
Ah.
dude. Me too. It was getting like late. I'm hearing my voice now in someone's microphone. Or wait a minute. Never mind. It's gone now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was getting late. It was like 3:30 a.m. my time, and I was like, oh, I'm just getting so tired. Like I want to stay up, but I was like, I don't want to be on live stream getting like falling asleep. So I was like, all right, guys, I got to go. And then as soon as I woke up in the morning, I saw Richard Hart got on right after.
I was so
like, dang it.
man.
That's why you guys got to stay on for 24 hours with Hex.
Yeah.
I had like 4 hours of sleep that night, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I should have stayed.
It's good for the soul.
I couldn't even get back in. Once I left for I had to leave for dinner and it came back. I was like, man, I was waiting in the back room until
Yeah,
like 1 in
the queue
morning.
is probably long as
Yeah.
hell.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's good.
Fucking nuts.
I
I
think
was
there-
on there the
I think there's-
whole time.
There's somebody's. I don't know. I'm hearing someone's mic. Are you guys
I think
hearing
it's
that? Or no?
Brian.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, I hear that too.
I think it's you, Bran.
Hello?
Try it now.
Yeah.
Man down.
Yeah, it says Mike.
Yeah, it's
Man down.
We need
headphones.
to get,
Headphones work great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get
I'm glad that's because that's all I got.
Yeah. So Franklin, your group is Hex Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think everybody should go in there, like post whatever you want to buy with your gains, like whatever. If you have a dream, if you have a house, you want to get a car, just post it. I want to see what everybody wants. Like that.
Link it in chat. I didn't even know that existed, dude.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
join that. Yeah.
I'll join.
Cool.
Dude, there's so many secret Hex groups.
Hey,
You get-
man.
I know, dude.
They're like some secret ones.
Hey, there's some slimy ones out there, baby.
Yo, RG3, you gotta get that Joe Rogan video going.
We're working on it.
Yes.
It's moving. There's actually they're working inside the chat room right now. They put together. They finally got some organization in there.
Okay.
Look, that's not me. I'm not the fucking organized guy.
I got you. I'm not. I couldn't do that either. So
I don't do the editing. I barely can put this show together and keep it running.
Hey, RG3, man, you be too modest, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Well, this
You're a smart guy, man. You're doing a lot.
I'm smart like a fox. That's why. So what these guys are doing is they're actually getting some work done. I put the group together a while back ago when I got done doing his show. And well, my sister did the show. I was just fucking tagging along. I wasn't.
Who was
on
your
the show.
sister? What was she on there for?
I'm not gonna really expose
Oh,
her,
okay.
but she did.
All right.
She,
I've seen
she-
most of the episodes, so that's what I was curious.
we're native, so she
Okay.
he was talking about an Indian book that he had been reading,
Oh,
and she
okay.
went on to kind of he wanted a real perspective of it. This guy was really kind of a white dude that wrote about Indian shit and kind of made it grandiose, and she went in there to kind of talk on the Indian side of the perspective, and so that's kind of
I know what episode you're talking about. I got you.
Okay. Yeah. So that was her, and she did that. So I got to go tag along, hang out. Fucking,
Awesome.
he's got a badass place, man.
I know he
it's
does.
Fucking cool as shit.
That was the new facility, right? You guys got to see his new facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got movie props in there, cars, fucking archery range, full gym.
Archery.
His float spa or whatever. His,
His float spa, and then he's got
A gym, right?
pool tables,
Everything.
and they drink this like
It's a man cave.
this
The
this
CBD
coffee
stuff?
that's loaded
Oh.
with
Bulletproof.
no, it's not bulletproof. it's loaded with this yellow shit. It's a spice, turmeric.
What are you drinking?
Turmeric.
It's turmeric coffee, and it's like, he's like, yeah, man, just figure. You got a machine that makes whatever one you want. You know, you hit the button, and it makes this yellow coffee, and it's turmeric. It's fucking loaded with turmeric, and you hit that shit, man, and it's like, dude, I'm telling you, that's straight to the vein shit right there, man. That's like some double throwdown trick of the week, wake your ass up shit right there. And I thought it would taste really bad because it was, you know, turmeric.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. And they drink that shit over there. They're like, all of them are down in it, you know. But yeah, it was cool. Let me get Bran back up here.
Bran,
You're back on, Bran.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hopefully that's a little bit better.
That's better, and you're
Yeah.
not fucking us up with your sound, so it's good.
It would be cool. It would be cool to get on there before he switches over to Spotify, though. That's kind of the main thing I was thinking about. It'd be cool to catch him one of the last episodes before he leaves YouTube.
Yeah. Well, hopefully these guys should have this thing put together. They're doing a really good job of finding some good material that would interest his producers.
Right.
You know, because you got to make it interesting and have a good bio.
Richard
And so-
Hart's interesting.
They need to make a clip where he's just pretty much, you know, slashing people. That I think would be really
Well, there's some other things like some of the people that he's done interviews have also they found, like the guys in the chat room,
Overlap.
they found that Richard's done interviews with guys that they've done interviews with. So some familiarity will be cool too. It's like, oh, this guy's worked with this person in the crypto space. He came on our show, you know, that kind of stuff. So they're working real hard on putting a good bio together. So that'll be pretty cool. And then I'll get that over to him. And
That's awesome.
and, you know, hopefully it happens. It'd be nice. It would definitely be nice for Hex.
That would be
huge.
sick. That would be
God
huge.
bless my bags.
He has 3 million stream viewers. 3.5 million.
And a lot of them are people that are not in the space. That's a big thing.
Yeah, and then he gets like, I think he gets 30 million downloads or some shit like that.
man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Number one podcast in the world.
Yeah. Do you
Crazy.
guys remember that guy Max Kaiser? He still does like the Kaiser report.
Yeah,
he's
super Bitcoin maxi.
Yeah, I know, but
super.
But because he was one of the first people talking about Bitcoin during the time, he made a lot of kids, a lot of 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds,
Rich.
and like 25, rich as hell. That's why he has the money to like do his shows and do anything he wants.
I saw a kid like that. He used his grandma gave him like $1,500 back when like Bitcoin was.
Oh
like,
yeah, I saw him
for like college, and he just bought Bitcoin with it. And then he had, I think the last time his net worth was like 20-something million, or I forgot what it was. And
Yeah.
$1,500
Yes.
Bitcoin. It was so cool.
It's like, fuck college.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Man.
Those are good
College.
stories. Those are good stories.
Yeah.
But I know there's a bunch of people that got big bags of Bitcoin that don't deserve it. Them fucks. They don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people that sold drugs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I don't put
It's a
drug
thing.
dealers down. I would never, say that was a bad thing. But I mean,
I'm just saying they
never
made
say
a lot
it's
of money.
bad thing.
Some of them did, anyways.
Well, the guy's selling meth though. I mean, shit. Fuck.
I
those
mean,
dudes, man.
I don't care what you sell. I really
Some of those
don't.
people though, like they don't have all that Bitcoin anymore, right? Because
A lot of them don't.
depended
Some-
if you
some did.
kept that Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot
Right.
of
Yeah.
people were just using it as.
Well, yeah, a lot of them sold at $30
Yeah.
when it was up there.
Yep.
Man.
Hurt.
Or they don't remember their keys, or all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one sad one I remember was this dude who bought Bitcoin back in like 2010, and he went to the military, came back, his wife threw out his computer in the landfill or
Oh
something.
my!
and
Oh
then-
yeah, I saw that one. They were trying to find it. They
I
couldn't
would
find
cry.
it.
And they
I would-
found
yeah,
it. He said he'll give half the money to the city. He's like, help me unpack the actual, like, I guess the way they put the trash in, they covered so once they put up a big trash pile, they cover it in plastic, and then they bury it. And they said, well, it's in this pile, but it's been this many years, so it's actually slime now. So it's not even worth opening it anymore.
That's horrible.
Oh.
Damn, bro.
he looks at that hill like every day going,
What hell?
Oh,
He's still just looking at his wife like,
Yeah, I would divorce her. Like,
Got a new wife.
I
gotta
divorced her.
it's right there. It's
Yeah.
right
go,
there.
bro. She gotta, because you would look at her
Gotta
every
go.
day and just be
Resentment.
like, yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
like,
half
how
the
could you?
stories is the wife throwing it away.
That's crazy.
On God.
Because it
Like-
probably was an old computer or some crap, you know? It's just chucking it.
Man,
That's some wild shit, man.
Better not
Women's
touch my
spring
shit.
cleaning, dude.
yeah, man.
Your
But
shit is in the way. Their
How much
shit's never
Bitcoin
in
was
the
it?
way.
Do you know? Do you remember?
Oh, it was
it was like thousands, wasn't it?
I think what he had in there was like $7 or $8 million at the time. So I mean,
Jesus.
yeah.
Damn,
So it was a good amount, man.
That means don't get married, kids.
Yeah.
Don't get married. That's right.
Lesson learned.
Damn,
Man.
crazy,
Any of you guys married?
Are we?
No.
Is anybody
No.
married?
I got a
Like-
fiance.
Maybe.
Litecoin's almost.
Maybe soon.
Gotta
We'll
go.
see.
Yeah, I'm almost.
Okay.
Gotta pop the question first.
Good about the question.
But then COVID came up. I was supposed to do it in Greece, but didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
you not divorce me? Are you not going to exit scam me?
Make her sign the Hex prenup.
Hex prenup.
That, you guys, you
Yeah.
boys better fucking get that shit now.
Oh, for, sure.
I'm telling you, you
For
don't.
sure.
My
Oh, no,
hex
bro.
is off limits. You guys
So-
need to
Richard
put
said
that
it best.
shit.
So
I take the
if,
car, but not the house.
so if you get married without a prenup, then
Half.
I guess
You're done.
so it's half of all of your assets, half of
Half.
everything.
Depends
Technically,
on the state.
half
on the
your
state,
life,
right?
your soul, your ass, everything. Half.
You
Half.
see how they did Bezos? Done.
yeah.
Half.
Wasn't
Done.
half.
Yeah.
Wasn't half.
But
It wasn't
also,
half.
And
also,
even with a prenup, you're not really protected. I mean, if you got a loop, if you screwed something up in your prenup, you could,
Good lawyer.
But
And then
But the
some of you guys got to realize that there's common law in some states.
yeah, it
where
depends on the state.
You guys are hooked up for 10 years, then she can still say common law.
yeah, because I've heard
That's
stories
California.
about like alimony and if you're with them for a long time, then and I think all the laws are meant to benefit like the female.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
you're
like
done.
you're done. You're practically done.
Yeah, because all those laws were put in place back when women really didn't work. It was just like the man.
They were
so
taking
like
care
a lot
of the kids and all that
and
stuff.
yeah, because there were some dirtbag guys back in the day
That's-
that would abandon their
and
family
that-
or like and
She
leave
has
their
a-
families in like in squallow.
Going to get milk and never come back.
Well, yeah,
Right.
and oh, there goes
That's
Annette
perfect.
there.
That's exactly what
Throwing
I was
throwing
going to
head-
say.
Yeah,
Make sure she understands.
Problem solved. Problem solved.
Make sure she
That's so
understands.
cool, man. She came on the show the other day. She was cool.
Yo,
Yeah.
her accent was dope. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was pretty.
She got that.
Where's her accent from?
She's got a.
South?
The South?
Was it the South? I don't know. I listened to her for a little bit.
It was. I don't want to insult. It was kind of. It was like she had a little hillbilly-ish twang in there.
Hillbilly-ish twang.
I mean, I'm California. That all we. If you guys have an accent, you're either from the East Coast for us or you're a hillbilly.
Mhm.
Really?
That's just how we say it, right? I mean,
Hey, I'm
Y'all-
from Seattle. I know.
you guys say
Y'all.
y'all
I
in fiction.
love y'all.
Pop.
Y'all.
Pop.
I say
No.
pop.
That's a
Soda.
The flush
100%
address belongs to her
Pop is
lawyers,
the
bro.
sound. Definitely
Yeah.
soda.
Oh man.
Funding Jim said that's why Tom Cruise got divorced 2 times at 9 years and 9 months. Because if the prenup is 10 years.
Jeez.
Yeah. And the prenup only counts on your current assets. So let's just say you're worth like $1 million,
Right.
and then you guys were together 10 years. Like, okay, that first million's protected, but you could be worth 20 or 10, and so it's 50-50 on the 9 million.
I think that's why Bezos' wife got so much because she was with him
Yeah.
since he started it. He started
Right.
Amazon.
Damn, bro.
Goodness.
But they kind of,
Man,
I mean,
makes
just,
sense.
yeah.
Somebody is probably going to make good money being a hex lawyer, a hex divorce lawyer. It's like,
Hex divorce
I could
lawyers.
go find all
Or-
these guys or ladies.
Hex
And-
gold digger.
Hex gold digger.
Hex
Gold digger videos
Hex
Yeah.
thoughts.
on YouTube with
Oh my
Lambos.
God.
That'll be
You
perfect.
guys want to do
Give
that
them
big
ideas.
party in Miami?
You know?
You
gonna be
guys
out
are all
there?
exposing yourselves right now, so your old ladies are going to know. That
Exactly.
motherfucker got hex. He got hex.
No, but you know what's funny? The girls got.
I don't even have 100,000 hex.
Me
What were you
either.
saying, Frank?
Me either.
You say what?
Yo,
What were
I,
you saying?
I lost it in a boating accident.
Oh, what was that?
sold it all.
It's in the landfill.
I stole
Yeah,
it
it's
all.
in the landfill.
Seriously. I sold all my hex. Really.
My MetaMask is in the landfill.
I left it
Sorry,
on
Uncle
exchange.
Sam. Yeah.
Love have to do with signing documents.
Yeah, but anyway, so Bran, I've never heard, man. What's your story? How you got into Hex?
Let's hear it, Bran.
So yeah, sure. So I've been in crypto since like early 2017, and I've always, not always, but when I first got into crypto, I don't know, first stumbled upon Richard Hart and kind of like the videos that he would do with like Roger Ver, or just some of the people that he would debate, say with like Bcash and some of these other cryptos. And so yeah, I mean, I've been following Richard for maybe, I don't know, 2.5 years, something like that, if not a little bit longer. And he had been talking about Hex since, before it was created. So long story short, when he did the launch date, I mean, I jumped in hands and feet and had been pretty much dollar cost averaging on the earlier days. So yeah, I mean, been in Hex since the beginning, and
Nice.
quite the big fan. It's a solid project.
Yeah.
I can relate to what someone said earlier about, you're buying Hex now, and when you bought it back in the day, like it was a million Hex per ETH. Like
Yeah.
I had a few of those days too, to say the least. And man, it's hard to it can be hard to justify sometimes.
Yeah.
But
It just hurts. It just
It
hurts.
hurts.
That's
Do you guys ever
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
think about day one and be like, man, if I had just done this, that, and third?
Well, not on day one, but a couple days after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
Bran, then on I guess the question would be,
Sure.
for on day one, did you FOMO very hard, or did you kind of like dollar cost average small? Or...
So no, I didn't FOMO super hard. I would say, yeah, I definitely dispersed decently well. In hindsight, looking back on the Trezor and a couple different accounts that I have, I'll go to like the transform tab and just scroll down, and see like what days I invested in. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I definitely didn't FOMO, put in
Nice, cool,
a little bit
cool.
of ETH, but
Cool.
fortunately not too much.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
there you go.
We got to
Yeah.
get somebody on here who's got a heartbreak story, because we've got some people that have like sent significant
There's not many of there's not many
amounts
of
of
them.
money to the contract and shit like that.
Oh,
I was gonna say, if
that's,
Oh, yeah,
If one's bad, I mean,
that's bad.
One of those guys was DMing me. And he was like
yeah, I
freaking
remember.
busted up, man. He was like, he put like 25 G's worth of ETH in the fucking contract.
but we had a guy on. I think
Which
it was
contract?
He sent it to the Hex
the
contract.
Hex contract.
origin address.
Yeah.
No.
Once you
Just directly.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Don't
with that, though.
ever do that. If you're listening to
Yeah.
the show, don't ever send your ETH directly to the contract.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
amazing.
that is scary.
We had a guy on the chat maybe last night or a couple nights ago that said the same thing, but then when we asked him to post his address so we could actually confirm that, he wouldn't post it. So be careful with that, because some people are using it to pitch for Hex as well. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
some had. I know for a fact someone sent it to the contract, but other people are using that kind of as a thing to kind of fish for X and sympathy and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
So the
be careful with that.
economy
There's all
continues.
types of game theory in this, man.
all kinds,
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all kinds of scam theory.
Yep.
Give me that
Skin theory, yeah.
First it was the fake Hex ladies. Now it's the sob stories. Damn
The
it.
fake
We're-
Hex.
we're evolving, man.
Hex
Hex ladies
Yeah.
are still there too. They were in there today.
The simp,
God.
the simp
Fake Hex.
fishers.
The Hex boss.
I'm single and looking for friends, guys. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
That's
There's plenty of fish
hilarious,
here.
Hard pass.
It's crazy to your point about, the person that DM'd you and sent 25 G's, to the contract address. It was actually, that happened to me. Not like I didn't send like a whole bunch, but I sent a little bit at first, like not knowing how the transform tab worked, and maybe like the second day, it was like day 2 that everyone was saying they had their text, or sorry, their Hex. And I was like, oh shit, like what am I doing wrong to not be receiving the Hex? So it was kind of like day 2 that technically, that I got in, but
well, that's good.
but definitely
Yeah.
it wasn't like,
lot.
even that much as far as proportionally speaking, as
Yeah.
far as the
Yeah.
ETH goes.
It's good.
So, but to the
Nice.
people out there, I mean, yeah, definitely understand how the website works and understand that, yeah, you shouldn't be going directly from the MetaMask to the address and sending it. Like that's not how you generate and mint the hex yourselves, you know?
Yeah.
Ask for help in the Telegram chat. Admins are good.
Unless
Yeah.
you want to
Mhm.
donate.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Or
and
the person
and
that referred
thing.
you, you know, click on their referral link, and then you
Sure.
know that you're going to the right place. You go to the adoption amplifier from there, then you know that you're in the right spot. I
agree.
wanted to clarify something. I'm looking at the we talked about a scam earlier about the pool scam. The hex pool scam that ended with .xyz was the one that was the scam. So there is benefits to getting on your belly and slithering through all the swamp with the rest of the
Yeah.
Is can we define which games I guess are the scans for everybody
Well,
who's watching? And
I don't know if you can really say that. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
at any
from
point,
anything that we know that is determined, or
any-
the legit projects so far. If
at
anybody,
any point a Ponzi can freeze
yeah,
or a pyramid could freeze or collapse.
Yeah.
Or the developers originators can exit scam on the whole thing, or just walk on it and necessarily be a scam, but they walk on it and the whole thing collapses.
yep.
So there's all those risks. I mean, those are the risks that are involved in that. That's the real risk. Now, it's gambling. It's like putting your money on red or black. It's the same fucking thing. So don't tell me any different. Don't tell me, they're scams. They're not. They're gambling. And everybody should know their risks when they get involved in that stuff. And there's high reward and there's high risk because there's people making some bank right now.
Oh,
Bank.
yeah.
They're making money off of these things. So
I think if you're participating in those things that are just derivative markets, then you should at least know the code and know how it works. If you're putting in some ETH for Hex or any other derivative market, you should know how you're getting your money back within that contract.
Not a lot of people do though.
Yeah.
And if your risk tolerance is low, stay the fuck away from it and go to the AA and stake your hex and stay away from it all.
Yeah.
If that's your risk tolerance is low, stay away from it and be happy with that. That's fine.
Yeah,
And-
but
and-
it's weird now because it seems like there's so many coming out now at a really quick pace, and it's almost hard to keep up anymore.
I know they're I can't keep up anymore.
It's cool. They're building on it.
Yeah. But I feel like a week goes by, and it's like, oh my gosh, now I just found a couple like yesterday or today, a couple I wasn't aware of, and I'm like, wow, they're just coming out like left and right. But I guess too at the same time that shows that gives like it gives more kind of value to Hex because you have all these games, all these ecosystems that are built using Hex.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives it more value.
Do you
I
think
like Bitcoin.
this was just a little thought that hit me in the head, yesterday? I was thinking the same thing, Ryan. I was like, okay, we've got like all these dApps coming out. I mean, like they're flooding right now. They're just
Crazy.
Can't keep up with the YouTubers. Can't keep up with the dApps. It's just like everywhere. I'm trying to like everybody's stuff and hang out in everybody's pages, and it's just getting vast. So I was thinking, I'm like, man, look at all the sideways action we got right now. Is maybe this because of this influx of gaming and people removing their hex and these people dumping it, and maybe this low we're seeing is because everything's glomming on right now, and it's putting some financial pressure on the price.
Could be. It could be.
I mean, I was just thinking that because
we're trading right now instead of.
I remember when one of them
Right.
was accused of
Dumping it.
dumping their coins, which they have every right to. So I don't want to take that. I hate calling things freaking bad when it's we're in cryptocurrencies, guys. So shut up.
Yeah.
To
Quit-
be honest,
Everybody wants the ecosystem to be this freaking pristine thing. It's not. You're in crypto.
you are.
Yeah, it's crazy in crypto.
I think that maybe we might be seeing something similar to 2017 in our own ecosystem. We had a lot of those dApps and a lot of those games that either they were scams or they were just failed projects.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, it's like we're having our own 2017 like
Awesome.
the ICO craze phase within Hex.
Everyone sees the opportunity in Hex. So
Yeah.
That is
Going up.
crazy.
But what's even more crazier that you have a lot of these applications that are building on top of Hex, right?
Yeah.
When you could literally have games that work and interact with, you know, the contract instead of being on top of them necessarily, right? I mean, people could make simplified, you know, dice games or card games instead of having just derivative market type games. I mean,
Yeah, but also it takes a lot of brain power, a lot of time, a lot of energy just getting into all these contracts. Because like you know the couple that just came out, it's like you got to really kind of go into it and kind of get into okay, what is this, and it takes time, energy, and a lot of them kind of fizzle out and this and that, and it's like you have to kind of decide okay, how much energy, how much time do I want to put into this? Because it's like it takes some serious time just to understand that particular ecosystem. And then it's like, you know, so you have to kind of gauge, is this going to be worth my time? Do I want to get into this? So it's like.
And even a lot of those smart contracts, I'm guessing they're just looking at the hex code and they're being like, okay, this function looks like this. Then I can pretty much make my own app in a similar fashion, right? I guess you just have to be creative if you do want something different. You know, it's like it's almost like we're seeing ERC20 points pop up just everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and also like I don't know if you guys were in the DApp space kind of before, but it seemed like the trend. I kind of got in at the end of 2019 when it seemed like it was really trendy within Tron. Like they were all in Tron, all the games, and yeah. But it's I feel like
great name.
I feel like slowly they're kind of transitioning over towards the Hex ecosystem, and now we're getting this Hex ecosystem of like all the dApps, and now they're coming out in rapid pace.
One of the guys that I brought to Hex, he sold his entire Tron bag and put it all in Hex. So
yeah, because it's so much more innovative, so much newer kind of style of dApps.
He just bought some more last week, so
yeah, might as well just stock up.
Yep.
If you guys are playing with those games or something, what this is something that I would do personally, because like this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different device than where I have my stakes on.
Good move.
Different device, right? Different type of wallet.
Just
and what I'm doing, and just to be safe, send Hex over to that new wallet.
Yeah.
And then play around with that. So
that's what I've done. I've got my slime wallet, and then I've got my stake wallet.
God damn, Slytherin.
My belly Slytherin wallet, my dumpster diving wallet, and so you know.
Yeah, be too careful.
Never play around with the wallet you have your stakes on, ever.
Yeah,
ever.
That's a good point.
Don't link it up.
Yeah, it's just like I can't stress that enough. That's like.
No,
dude,
and then that way you don't have to be able to read the code and all that. You lose whatever you're willing to lose in the first place. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, but I guess would there be a way? I mean, I guess you wouldn't really know if there's like a vulnerability within the contract, and like could they kind of like combat like as we go forward in the future, could they kind of revisit and be like, okay, now there was a vulnerability, we can get you, or I don't know, I don't know how these kind of things, if you'd be at risk.
I've never heard.
Catch it in, maybe.
I've never heard of MetaMask being hacked from that direction. I've not found it anywhere.
I don't think so either.
I've looked, I've asked, I've talked to devs. They've said, well, there's no really a way for them to do it. Now, somebody can hack your keys. Somebody can hack your computer, and if you have your keys stored on your computer like a dummy, then you can get hacked that way. But I don't think that.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a back door into your wallet or a way to.
So
I guess saying it can be done, but
I guess best practice would be to just, of course, and for everybody out there listening, never, ever, ever give your private key to anybody, ever,
Admins, anyone,
and nobody ever. And there was the one guy who he fell for one of the fake sites and he gave it away. And man, that was a horror story. I was honestly shocked that day when I read what happened. I was like panicking for him. Those
are the new people getting into the space. That don't know better.
But it seemed like he was in it. He was in it for a while, and I always saw him in the Telegram. Yeah.
Damn.
Can I clarify? Was that the one where he gave away his private keys and then the person?
Well, he didn't give
emergency
away.
unstaked all.
He
Oh, okay.
he logged into a link that asked him to put his keys in order to launch the wallet or whatever. So
Oh, a phishing. Okay.
There was a
Ledger
phishing
Nano or
tech deal,
That's
yeah.
Good
unfortunate.
texture.
What's good texture say?
He said
I
he
gave
gave
my
his
private key to
private.
Hexologist. He said he would take care of it for me. Hey,
Shout out
it's in good
Fireball.
hands because
Hey, out of
Hexo,
anyone, if you're going to give them to Hexo.
that's the one.
Yeah.
I think that's the one
Yeah.
person on the planet that you
You
can
can
give your
trust.
keys to.
You could,
and
yeah.
You won't get.
Even if he did take it, it's a good person to go to. So
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Hey Motley, you got anything you wanna throw down? Because I'm gonna boot you, man. Because I
Yeah.
got people coming in, and I want to try and get as
Yeah.
many people in as possible.
you're good, man. Peace out. You guys.
All
have
right, brother.
fun.
Hey, thanks for
Rock and
joining
roll.
us, man. We
Yep.
appreciate
Peace out,
it.
man.
For coming.
Later.
Stop, brother.
Later, guys.
All right,
Sick
bro.
headset.
Okay, let's see. Hexillionaire. What's up,
Oh,
Hexillionaire?
bro?
Yo, what's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Yo.
Can you guys hear me?
We
Yeah,
can
man.
hear you.
Yeah,
That's
Loud
the
and
mic
clear.
and mics right
Yeah.
there. Man.
AMS air.
nice mic, dude.
I'm jealous.
Thanks, guys.
Nice setup. Dope.
Thanks. Yeah, rookie on the YouTube status, but been in crypto for a while.
Yeah. No, dude, your mic sounds good, bro. For real.
Thanks.
Yeah. Clean.
So
Now you came on the 24-hour, didn't you, Bran? You didn't?
No. I mean,
were-
I've been in the chat quite a bit and some other accounts too, but never
Never on stream. I thought I saw you on the 24-hour. Maybe it was the beer bottle. I thought I saw the beer bottle. Wait a minute, I recognize that guy.
There's a lot of
RG3,
people drinking, though.
weren't you drinking that night?
What's that?
Weren't you drinking that?
Me?
Yeah,
No, I haven't drank in 25 years.
that's awesome, bro. Congrats.
No, it's not.
There we go. Yeah,
Fuck you.
looks like
Have you ever not
Hexillionaire
drank for
doing his-
25 years?
You guys drink over there.
Nah, I couldn't do
There
that.
you
yeah,
go.
man, I'm celebrating right now, dude.
Hell yeah. Friday
You don't
night
ever want to
hangout.
be where I'm at. You
Shoot.
don't ever want to be where I'm at.
I'll
I had to
drink
stop
every
drinking
2
on stream,
hours,
man.
man. Once we get this hex.
Hey, RG3. I mentioned this in the chat a couple times, but I know Hexologist has the super chats on, where you can donate and ask a couple questions, maybe change the topic. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought about maybe putting that on YouTube or?
Well, you
Accepting
can't put
donations?
super chat on until you have 1,000 viewers. Once you get 1,000 subs,
Okay.
once you get 1,000 subs, then you get more. You can monetize and do all those things.
Yeah.
And I was talking. I found out they said that you can. So the algorithms. So you can cuss. So we can cuss all we want on the show, as long as you don't have slurs and things like that to that nature, or if it's the first 30 seconds, for some reason, the first 30 seconds, if you throw an F-bomb out there, you kick the algorithm and it messes your algorithm up. So
Interesting.
when you do the intro, unlike me though, not hitting the go live button before I hit the intro, the intro kind of takes care of that 30 seconds and you're good. So you can start cussing right away. So it's happy times for me.
I'm still trying to figure out why my video with Hexologist got took down. That's crazy, man.
It got taken down.
Yeah, like
which one?
the first interview. I actually I think it was early days of when he was doing the stream. Like I hopped on and he like interviewed me and stuff, and it got taken down.
Dude, he had like 2 strikes on him or something on YouTube. He was scared.
Man,
He
that's
was-
It's
Hexo.
probably people just
Hexo.
like reporting him or something.
Wow.
They probably just don't like
That's
him. And he's
crazy.
getting
They haven't
reported.
said anything about this show, and it's as bad as
Yeah.
it gets. Freaking good textures running around with his freaking firearms and shit, and we got, I mean, you name it. And
One
Yeah.
day it's up, next day it's down. It's like
It's
And
Tony
I
Vase,
agree with-
man. He put in a call.
he put in a
Yeah.
call,
Totally.
Yep. It was
and
tone
we've talked
based.
shit about him
Yep.
too. So
It
I
was
mean,
tone based. Blame it on him.
Yep.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on Tone Vase. I'll
Don't
talk
even
shit
get me
about that
started
guy
on Tone Vase.
Oh my god.
The
You know,
marble
I don't like
Gargler.
people that chill so much. Everyone's got their their Bybit link out there. It's just such a disgusting thing to me.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's and especially for like new people getting into the space. You think that, oh, I got to trade, and then it's like, boom, okay, I just lost all this money.
That
Which is
sucks,
disgusting. When most people get into this space, they're half of them are getting in on credit cards. That's just I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And on top of it, the people are getting in with a couple $100. They think they can 10x on Bybit. Like, it's easy. It's like people don't realize you're taking somebody else's money. It's extremely
People really
difficult.
using Bybit? Jesus.
I mean, I still
That's
have a
why
Finex account. I love Bitfinex. I wish that would open back up to everybody.
Yeah, dude,
I'm glad
your mic is really clear, man. I just want to say.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
jealous right now, bro.
I'm like,
I
listening.
think we all got a man crush on your mic and your voice. It's like your name should be Buck, not
Buck.
Hexillionaire.
Dude, I don't know what it is about my voice. That people have been saying something about my voice. They're like, recently, because I've been live in Discord for with 6K a lot recently, and people keep saying, "Dude, what's up with your voice? You sound a lot like Richard Hart or something." I was like, "Dude, I have no idea." Sounds like, I mean, obviously we all sound different to ourselves.
Mhm.
You gotta use that for power, man.
Yeah, it sounds good.
To you
Power
guys'
responsibility.
To you guys' point about the trading and the ref links, I mean, that's why I'm quite the fan that like Richard Hart. He even mentioned it himself that when I don't know how long ago, but he had his own referral link that he would mention, and for people to trade and whatnot. And I don't know when he ended up deciding that that wasn't the route to go because people were getting wrecked. But I'm appreciative that at least he mentions that like, hey, you shouldn't be, gambling on a credit card and doing this margin trading and stuff like that. Like, kind of the reason that
Yeah.
Hex was created was to kind of not have that. Per se.
You know what I like?
is-
I like
Oh,
the
go ahead.
fact that Richard doesn't. It doesn't seem like he cares so much about his link, and then you have people that in the community that they care about getting the referral, but they would rather help somebody and refer them to Hex.win
Yes.
or any one of
Yes.
those sites that are
Yes,
very
I
beneficial
actually
to them.
I had in one of
That's
my
different.
live streams. I told people how they could get 20%. I'm not sure if that's allowed in this. I don't want to blow anything up.
No, dude, shill your shit here. You're cool.
No. I
Shoot in
mean,
there.
it's not my shit. I'm all about this is all open source, and everybody in crypto needs to learn more. I see people that don't know enough and are making awful mistakes just because they don't have the diligence to basically sit down for a few hours and teach themselves something. It's a brand new technology. Everyone needs to get smarter because the world's going to get really hard. Obviously, look what's happening around us. So yes, you don't have to get just 10%. You can sell for free yourself. Most people don't know that. I'm telling people that. I don't need your referrals. I want you to, if you can figure out how you can sell for free yourself and do that, you deserve it. It's as simple as that. Or you can, take the easy way out, give money to everybody else, and there's nothing wrong with that, clicking somebody else's referral link. I just want to put it out there for everybody. Like, go do your homework, learn your crypto, because if you're not, you're going to be the person that's crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a
I
YouTube
got-
channel?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hexillionaire. The Hexillionaire, actually.
The Hexillionaire. Okay.
Yeah.
Hexoliner, you said?
No, the Hexillionaire. Yeah.
The Hexoliner. Yeah, we got to search it, man.
So.
But dude, so we usually always ask, man, like, how long have you been in Hex? Like, what's your story of kind of how you came across it?
Oh, I mean, I've been following Richard Hart since he was doing his self-help videos. I saw him back in 2017. I was in crypto in 2017, early 2017, got into Bitcoin, actually found Ripple, got wrecked on Ripple.
Really?
So if you guys don't mind, it's like a quick 30-second rundown of glorious to tragedy back to glorious. I was one of the guys in 2017. I did put my money on a credit card, put it in. It was about 7,000. Bought Ripple for the Ripple Swell pump.
All right.
Got destroyed. I had roughly, I think it was like down to like $400 left because, of course, at the time I was only in crypto for like a week and I'm panic selling and buying and didn't know anything about trading at all. $400, stopped trading. So it was just like 7,000 down to $400. It was like destroyed. I then stopped trading. I had broken my leg at the time, so I was out of work. So I spent 2 weeks basically super concentrated on teaching myself how to trade. Went on Bitfinex and found EOS at a little over 51 cents. and margin traded that up from $400 to $137,000.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, 400 to 137,000.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible,
bro?
Dude.
Nice, dude.
Hey, yeah,
That's like a
so
really
you can
good
do
story.
it, but like I don't recommend trading or margin trading, and that was only on Bitfinex,
Right.
and that was on a 3x. Anything over 3x, you are absolutely insane. You're gonna get wrecked.
Yeah. I caught that
Dude.
EOS pump too, man. That shit was nice.
But see,
Oh,
you and your story is the reason why people fucking do it, because
Mhm.
there is that guy that did it. There's a
And
guy that
also,
did
it
it.
wasn't easy though. It wasn't like
No,
it
it's
was-
not. But they think they can. There's
Mhm.
I
people
was
out
up
there that
until
think they
5
can.
o'clock in the morning last night. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, and I got up at. I have 2 little kids. I was up at 8 in the morning. So but I was also like speed trading Cetera last night and just crushed it. So that was nice.
Nice.
So, and I mean, the trading is just as bad as the games. I mean, it is.
It really is. It is. And
It's
that's
just
why,
as bad.
and I also want to say that like 90% of my entire crypto stack is in Hex and is staked for more than 5 years.
Good.
So everything that
There
I'm
you go.
trading is just, it's pretty much just fun money. And if I have a good night, that's awesome. Most of that money is going to go right back into Hex and it's going to get staked for a very long time.
Good.
Nice.
And
Nice.
that's crazy, and a lot of people don't come back from what happened to you, right? They exit. So that's amazing that you're still in the crypto game
Well,
and then you were able to succeed off
You
of
know,
that.
people are, my theory is about like human psychology. A lot of parents tell their kids that it's not okay to fail growing up, that mistakes aren't okay, and that they punish people for their mistakes. And my theory is, such a awful thing, because when you think about it, we never would have learned to walk if we were afraid of making mistakes. So in my opinion, mistakes actually only strengthen you if you are smart enough to learn what you did wrong.
Agree.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so with your 137K, did you cash out at the top, or kind of
Well,
like
$18 roughly. So I didn't catch the peak, but I was happy with 18. Yeah.
nice, dude?
That's what's up.
Awesome.
I never touched margin, man. I never did, man. I was so afraid of it even back
I
then.
haven't touched a margin account since like middle of 2018 or something.
Okay.
And I was good with that after that.
Yeah.
So you don't need to. Especially with Uniswap. What's going on with Uniswap? I mean,
I haven't been in an exchange since Uniswap, since I got it into Uniswap.
Same, man.
First
Same.
time.
I can't use those. I can't use centralized exchanges anymore. It's just like
Done with them.
Binance is junk
Yeah.
now. It's junk.
I mean, especially when you can get wrapped BTC. If you wanted Bitcoin, you can even get a wrapped Bitcoin, it's nuts.
Yeah, and I think like most of the like lending platforms, it's popular. They have the wrap BTC, and then you lend it and get your interest on it. But
I
Yeah.
go ahead.
no, I'm just really surprised that Uniswap is not getting props out there. I've seen very few YouTubers talk about it. I mean, Uniswap should be going absolutely apeshit freaking nuts right now.
I think these
Unipower is
YouTubers-
actually going to make that happen, because that's actually going to be incentive for people to actually shill Uniswap. I got a giant bag of power. So
What is power? Because I've been hearing about power. I was looking
a
on.
proof of liquidity coin that Uniswap's actually coming out. So all of the trading fees are going to be given to the Unipower holders.
So
So
is that POWER? Is that or
It's a proof of liquidity. It's a POL coin. It's the first of its coin. It's the first proof of liquidity coin on the market. It's like 6 days old or something stupid.
Unipower?
Unipower.
What's the ticker symbol?
Power.
You got to paste the
POWER.
contract address. If you guys, so
Dang.
one of my friends, we've been trying to get people into one of these chats. It's a 6K work week. He's in the Hex chat. I'm not sure if you guys have seen him.
I've seen 6K work week. Yeah.
So he's got his own channel. Not sure if any of you guys are on it. And we throw out new coins that are just looking dynamite. We did four days in a row, 10x, 4 days in a row. So we have some really good guys that have been trading for a while and just kind of know their stuff in there. So check out 6K Workweek's channel.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
and earlier today I was looking on the Uniswap V2, just kind of like I was going down on like uniswap.info, just kind of seeing like the top pairs, and I think I saw power. I can't remember if it was on the first page or the second page. But
I mean, the swings are it's crazy. I mean, it's been swinging from 44 cents to 60 cents. So there's no chart, but it's even better because what we've been doing is what we're calling it balance trading. So if you buy it at 44 cents, and these swings are so quick, and the Uniswap, the way it works is when somebody big enough buys to move the price, that stays there for liquidity of the coin. So it's not like so you can immediately sell into that if you wanted to, which is incredible. And it's not like working with a third-party exchange where there's limit orders. So, yeah, if something's ranging by 20 cents and it's doing it all day long, you're just buying and selling small positions. That's it.
I don't know. That's why I don't understand why Uniswap is not getting like just blown up.
It's counterproductive.
That's why.
Yeah, they make money off of
off the other, the other
like
exchange.
they're
Last thing
not
they
making money off
can talk about is another exchange.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
If
an
you're getting-
exchange
if
that's
you're-
going to put them out of business eventually. Uniswap will kill them all. It will kill them all one day.
Well, I mean, and with the Unipower, this goes into what Richard Hart talks about with like having enough money for a decentralized coin to actually have somebody that owns enough of that to actually market it.
Right. Incentive.
So that might be the Unipower, because if it's not incentivized to use it, like to trade on it, like who's actually getting these trading fees? And there are small trading fees, small, but like who's
At what price did it come out at originally? Since it's like 6 days old, right? What, like 20 cents or something?
Yeah, hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
So hey, everybody, like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you all. We're working on getting ourselves to 1,000.
I'm hearing this out just because it's Uniswap. That's why I'm like, okay, my ears are like
Well, yeah, I mean that's our exchange. I mean that's where Hex moves. I mean, but it still baffles me that it hasn't just taken over already. I mean, it should be like, everybody should be jumping on it. I don't know why you would sit on an exchange when something like that is sitting there. Probably just because they haven't looked at it too. I mean,
Uniswap is kind of like you have to have some like jiu-jitsu skills to even use it, because some people, like the way people get into crypto, it's like the easiest way to get in crypto.
It's not no harder than a fucking exchange, man. That's for damn
But it's just
sure.
knowing
No
KYC
KYC.
about it.
We're so used to it though, right? I mean, if
Yeah.
you're a new
Yeah.
user, like
At
when you
first,
really think about it, it takes some time. But once you get it, you're good.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of weird at first, but
All right,
once you get in that flow, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
I just posted in Discord in that general chat that RG3 posted about this. The link to the Uniswap Unipower info page, and it has the contract address. So if you do want to add it on Uniswap, you can.
Nice.
Okay.
So,
check it
so
out.
and then
So,
also,
I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say also, besides power, you said you guys did like some other picks. Like, what are some of the other picks that you guys did recently?
So we're currently trading PAMP.
You know what? Yeah, I saw that one too. I saw that too today. Uniswap.info.
Ghost, Power. What else? Unibright.
Ghost is that's
McAfee.
our boys.
McAfee's.
And Cetera. So Cetera, I am like heavily in Cetera right now.
What is that, Cetera?
So this is like it's a artificial intelligence trading bot that actually has a pool of 5 separate coins that it's supposed to keep 20% pegged to US dollar of each of those coins. And as, let's say if Bitcoin goes up 3%, it's going to sell the holdings to keep the US dollars at 20% of the portfolio, which is really nice, being that it's only a few days old and you can actually front run the bot right now. And we crushed it last night. Like We
Good
watched
dip.
this thing go from 5 cents to almost 16, 17 cents last night. Just trading it. It's just like pegging between like it'll jump up 3 cents, you sell, it drops by 3, you buy, and it just goes up. It was nuts. So, but yeah, I think it's going back to 20 cents, and it's right around 8 right now.
What's a ghost token? Like I thought that
Ghost
wasn't even out
token,
yet.
That
Here goes
John-
Litecoin. He's on his coin trail now.
Bro, I mean, I did pretty good on Cell Token. I did pretty good on Hex.
It's an anonymity.
I keep
It's
catching these
it's
bugs.
John McAfee anonymity. But if I read the white paper, it's not complete yet. Mainnet isn't for a little bit, a couple weeks. It's going to have a built-in encrypted anonymous messaging platform. Also, it's supposed to be designed for businesses to actually be able to transact with customers anonymously. So that's a start. That's cool. And it's DeFi. You can read the code. I like these DeFi projects. I'm sick of these cryptos with these, founders got 99%. They can just turn off the chain whenever they want, roll it back. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of done with Bitcoin, to be honest with you.
Dude,
I don't even look at,
same,
I barely
dude.
look at the chart.
Done.
Somebody has to mention something about Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, okay, it went up a little bit. It went down. All right, cool.
They
I only
were
like it when it goes up because it pushes the whole market up.
Yeah, that
True.
is
Yeah,
a good
true.
thing
Yeah.
about it.
True.
Yeah, but I think that's going to go away because so there's all the we've talked about this before. So there's all this new money coming in right now. We're sitting. What are we sitting at today? Let's check it out real quick. We are
Well, the
sitting.
dominance.
There's
I
new
don't
money-
care about the dominance. I could give a shit about the dominance. That's whatever. We're at 275 billion. So we're close to 100 billion over the last 6-7 months coming in. So there's a bigger influx than has happened in a long time.
Well,
But I
look
don't
at all
think
the stimulus
that it
checks.
wants to go to Bitcoin. It would have already went to Bitcoin. The halvening, they keep having their little pump to 10K and then back down, back down, back down. It's like, I think it ain't going nowhere. We can't get, I think they're trying to bring it up and get people to buy and see if they can get everybody FOMOing in and roll the price, and then they can start manipulating again like they did when they put the futures in. But I don't think they have the control that they had back then. That was a big influx of money back then. I mean, that was
I agree.
big money.
Yeah.
Came in. That
I
shit
think
went
the
up to
thing that-
800,
Go ahead, my bad.
where we had like 800 billion came in, and we're sitting at 275 right now. It's fucking
That's
nothing.
what I'm saying. I don't even see this new money. I don't even see the old money. Shit.
And then the bottlenecks, like with Coinbase and some of these exchanges, like cutting off their servers going bad. Just
Oh yeah.
it's just ridiculous because it's like they're supposed to have backup servers. Like when you're telling me that servers are going down, that just doesn't make any sense.
And all
I
the
helped
exchanges
build- I
will have a
helped build
coordinated
those- I
breakers
built
go off
data
at the same
centers
time.
before. They don't go down.
Yeah, you can't like
They don't go
even if
down.
it did, you have backups.
No, it's a switch. They're turning the switch. It's always the switch.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Look at what happened.
Coinbase is the biggest violators of the whole thing too. I mean,
Coinbase Mafia, man. Coinbase
Just look at
Mafia.
what
They're not
happened
the
when-
only ones.
Coinbase
when
Mafia.
Bitcoin Cash got listed.
and guess what? Uniswap has never been down.
Facts.
And what was up with this? I know Richard had tweeted out something about the Bitcoin core developers switching over to BSV for their updates. What
Oh
the-
yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that tweet, but I don't know.
Isn't
So
it like if you have a certain type of wallet? I just don't remember.
Oh, it was the it was
Exodus
the-
wallet?
No, Electrum.
Electrum wallet,
wallet.
the
Yeah,
Bitcoin
Electrum
Electrum wallet.
Yeah,
it's
Is
so
that-
shady, dude. It's so shady. There's so much shady stuff in Bitcoin. I mean, look, like Bitcoin.com is a
Mhm.
Bitcoin cash site.
and
Mhm.
Bitcoin
Yeah.
Bitcoin.org is
No,
coming
like
up for
shit.
sale.
Like, come
Yeah,
on, that's the most
dude. That's shady,
confusing,
bro.
disingenuous thing ever. Why can't people just be
Bitcoin.com.
honest? This is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think Bitfinex and what's it called Roger Ver right now are like bidding for control over Bitcoin.org right now.
Really?
Jesus.
Who owns it right now?
I hope it goes to Bitfinex. I would hope it goes to
I'm
Bitfinex.
I'm not sure who owns it right now, but I think there's a couple actual big it was some YouTubers I think who owned it or something. for a while. I forgot the fucking name. These guys on, I think, if I remember correctly, it was his guys on Twitter and stuff that owned it, and I guess they're selling it now.
Man, and also like Bitcoin, it's like run now by that company or like Block One. Is that what they're called? Or have you guys heard? Or BlockFi, and like they're the ones who decide on all the like political decisions regarding Bitcoin, and it's practically just been kind of taken over by like a private entity now. So
and all the miners too,
and the miners. Yeah.
Not to mention,
I have a different theory about the whole happening. That it was advertised the same way CME was, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Exactly. It was the exact same.
It was a buy the rumor and sell the news. And everyone was like, oh, the happening, third time's a charm. It's going to be great. And I was like, I have a chart. You can go on my trading view. I can post a link in Discord. And I was like, I think this is going to tank. And it did. And
it wasn't much of a pump anyway.
So
no,
you guys don't think that...
I think I'll be able to buy Bitcoin in 2023 around $400.
What? No.
So
really?
You guys don't think it's going to follow
I agree.
Pattern of the happenings from previous, and you guys just
I think it's going to break pattern, because think about it. What's going to pump this? People are out of work.
Yep.
I mean, the
It's
only
dead.
thing is like the government's printing money like just nuts.
Yep.
Nuts. I mean, we got Hexicans on Twitter saying my $1,200 stimulus check is worth $8K. Like, how valuable is the dollar when people start finding that shit out?
Yeah.
That's the real velocity.
It's dead. And practically, I've been saying, Bitcoin is the MySpace of crypto. It was that first one. It was popular.
Yeah.
Everybody was on it. But eventually, I think slowly, it's just going to kind of fade and become obsolete.
And Richard makes such good points. Like, I can't teach my wife to crypto. I can't teach almost any of my family because they are going to send Bitcoin to a Lietcoin address, or they're going to, you know what I mean? They are not computer savvy. And on top of it, sending decimals is awful. You send one extra zero or one less zero, you're screwed by 10x.
Yep.
Do you know what I had to do for some of my
is 100 or 1,000? That's way too scary.
And you're talking about a shit ton of them, especially for guys with that bad fucking eyes. You miss that shit all the time.
That's what I'm saying. That is
It's
not
dead.
a good system. And I want to say that I do believe that Richard Hart actually designed Hex to basically become a stable coin.
Yeah.
Because it'll eventually...
Oh yeah, it's gonna
It's actually going to stabilize. So
that's my thought.
Yeah.
And then
That's the
even
way it's
like
built.
the UI and UX, that's another big thing, right? Because you have to have those things get better as well, right? Design principles and how you're sending the money to other wallets. If that doesn't change, if you have a bad user experience, people are not going to catch on.
Yeah, true. But most people aren't going to get in until it's so high.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be different.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Oh,
That's a lot of bottles.
what is he?
Damn.
What is he drinking?
There you
Okay,
go.
here we go. Yeah, party started. Let's go.
Party
Yeah, I got to
started.
get another cocktail too. I'll be back in just a second.
But the one of the things I was doing just for some, because I had some people asking me, but they just couldn't figure out crypto. What I just told them is, man, just fucking buy it on Robinhood, dude. Just
that's
buy
what
it
I'm
on
saying. It looks easy for them, right?
You can't move it, you can't send it, you can only buy and sell. That's it.
That's what
But
people
that's
want.
enough for them. That's enough for them. And I was like, cool, there you go, bro. You can get Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, fucking Bitcoin Cash, and Stellar Lumens. What else? Dogecoin.
Doge to the moon.
Doge is
that,
the only coin under a penny. I mean, under a penny that's on that exchange.
KNTX, is he recycling? That's funny as hell, bro. Yeah, it's wild. So how do you guys think that we can, I guess, make Hex more popular, get a lot more people on board? What's the best way, in your opinion?
It's going to be time and pressure.
You just
Is what
think
it's
time?
going to be. I think it's going to be time and pressure.
Yeah.
The pressure of people in crypto looking for something.
Mhm.
I mean, look, let's face it. Onboarding, bringing new money into Hex isn't going to be what happens year one. It's not going to be.
No.
It's going to be FOMO from crypto. It's going to be people from crypto FOMOing in, in November, in October, and that's where Hex is going to see its big rise, is from people in crypto getting in. So what I've been doing, like today, I did a Nerd Girl came on our show to ask us questions. She has her own show that they do. So I said, hey, she's like, well, hey, somebody going to send me some Hex as a joke? I said, yeah, I'm going to send you some. So I sent her some Hex. And then of course she's like, well, now what do I do with it? You know? So it's like, okay, here's my link. Go to the AA law. I want you to get the full experience. So I didn't send her Hex. I sent her ETH. I said, now go to the AA lobby with my link and go in there, and I'm going to show you how to mint your own Hex. So we're in that process now. So
nice.
It wasn't really difficult. I sent her my link. I said, click on that, and that's where you're gonna send your ETH to the AA. And then tomorrow it's gonna cycle, and you're gonna be able to mint your own Hex. You'll see it once you get in. So it was pretty simple for somebody in crypto, because these people know how to operate. And like I said, that's where that's going to be our main push in Hex, is going to be people within the crypto space. So onboarding people from outside, noble idea, but I don't think that's going to happen until after big payday, when the coin starts to stabilize out. The real world could come in and feel safe about it and use it as the CD product that it is. Right now, it's just it's people who understand crypto, who know crypto, are going to be the ones that are adopting until big payday. That's
I think
that's where we should focus our energy.
Yeah, I think at one point mobile is going to be very, very big, right?
Yes.
That's going to be a game changer. Like, I can't talk to any person like under 25 or 26. They're like, "Oh, you want to buy
Where's the app?"
Bitcoin?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what we need.
I can
On board.
I can run you guys through how you can onboard yourself very quickly with your cell phone into Hex.
Into Hex. Okay.
So I stopped using Coinbase a while ago. I live in the United States, obviously. Well, I mean, not obviously, but start using Cash App. You can get instant access to your Bitcoin. You can only buy Bitcoin, but it's instant access. You can immediately withdraw it. Now, you can immediately withdraw. If you have, there's a couple of, apps where you can actually have, wallets with built-in exchanges. You can then send it to that wallet, exchange it for ETH or USDC, send it to your MetaMask. MetaMask works on iOS and Android. I have it in my phone.
Did they
do everything right from MetaMask? Is that
new, or has it been like that?
You got to download
test flight
for test flight for
iPhone. It's still in test flight.
But it works, dude. I've made a lot of trades through my cell phone. Yes,
cool.
It works.
That might be tapped out.
People don't have their gas up high enough. Like, if you want your trade to go through, or if you want any kind of buy to go through, you got to adjust your gas much higher. Much higher than what it normally auto sets to.
Yeah, as long as it's working with the contract, I mean.
Oh, it definitely works. I've done
awesome.
it. I've moved like tens of thousands of dollars worth of trades through my cell phone. Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, I have a CyberGhost VPN. I recommend VPN if you're going to be doing anything.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then you should also have a couple different options for the exchange as well. Like, I think KuCoin is no KYC right now too, so you can send Bitcoin to that, get ETH. Because the main problem is not, it's like you said, get Bitcoin, right? The problem is where to actually turn your Bitcoin into Ethereum. That's the main, because once you turn it into Ethereum, you can do anything in crypto essentially at that point.
I was just looking, and I gotta find it again. I don't have the tab open, but I saw it might be 1 inch actually. The 1 inch exchange. You guys know what 1 inch is?
Yeah. I've seen that before. It's like
it's in a DeFi exchange, just like Uniswap. You can actually set limit orders in 1 inch, which is really rad. But I think trying to look for it.
Have you guys seen the Hex Toys app yet?
That I actually was looking at earlier. That looks amazing.
It looks clean, doesn't it? It looks like he's got like Hex Live is on there. It looks like.
Yeah.
And then he's got Uniswap on there. He has like Uniswap pulls up complete on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it looks very, very, very interesting. It looks clean too.
What I think it's doing is it's the frame sizing.
So he's linking and frame sizing all.
Yeah,
those
pretty
different-
much is going down to a mobile size version within the frames, and it looks clean. It looks.
And then he
good.
added some stuff too. Like he had that
Mhm.
community. I saw him flipping through it. My Ugly Mug was in there. I was like, oh shit.
Looks
He
really
had a
good.
whole bunch of people from the community in there. Exo and Richard.
Yeah.
But it looks clean. It looks really good.
Hey, bro, yeah, there's a bunch. Man, there really is a big utility for Ethereum. Goddamn, dude. Because I mean, with Ethereum, you can. I think I could figure out to get into any crypto at that point
Yeah.
with Ethereum. Anything. I mean, just about anything.
So was it the last stream we were talking about where they were saying that Ethereum is going to turn into the postage stamp of,
of
crypto
with
and all the other
the dump pipe, right? Yeah.
it's going to be our postage stamp. It's going to be the postage stamp for Hex.
I actually
and
think
for
that
all the other ERC20.
most cryptos that aren't DeFi moving forward are going to turn into
Nothing.
shit coins.
Yeah.
nothing.
Points.
Because there's no
Yeah.
point in owning a cryptocurrency that's controlled by somebody else. It makes no sense. It's not
No.
crypto. You know, if somebody else
No.
has control of the servers and the whole network and can just get turned off, it's not crypto.
And that's
It's not.
annoying. That's bad experience when something does happen.
Yeah. So I think moving forward, it's got to be DeFi. That's the only thing that's really going to truly pump. And I don't really think that crypto is going to see a new all-time high until at least 2023. That's for a whole first piece.
And 2023, that's a while. That's like,
Yeah, that's
Break
my
my heart,
prediction.
man. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not saying that Hex can't go 10,000x. I'm saying overall, as
Yeah.
There's still a lot of financial energy in crypto that can move because there's a lot of bags of shit out of there. Like you said, there's got to be an exit, and it's not going to come out of crypto. They're going to want to go into something that's actually going to X their bags, and it's going to FOMO in. People are going to FOMO in. I
There'll
mean,
be a couple. There'll be a couple.
We're in crypto spring right now, man. I really do think we are.
do
there
you?
we go.
I
think-
think it's
we're
kind
not in alt
phony.
we're not in alt season, but we're in crypto spring. I've been seeing a lot of activity in some coins. Like coins are Dragon Chain's up, fucking Cell tokens up. I'm seeing all
Dragon
these
Chain.
random yeah, dude, Dragon Chain's like up like crazy. Like like a bunch of these these tokens are all coming back to life, and I'm starting to see them pop up again. And I'm like,
That's
okay,
Well, it's because of all
Yeah.
the financial energy that's back in. I mean,
that's
it's
back
been,
exactly.
It's been 170 billion dollars, and now we're at 275 billion. You know, it's $100 billion freaking in the last since the bear market. You know, since the great bear market of the last few years, we've got a lot of financial energy, and most
How
of it's sitting in the fucking stable coins.
Right.
Hold on, but how many people are between the ages of 18 and 42 that got a stimulus check, that don't have children, that are in crypto, and want to dump $1,200 in over the last 90 days?
Yeah, well,
I think it's actually a shit ton.
Ah, shit.
it
I
is.
did. I dropped my check.
I saw it all over Twitter. Everyone, oh
Yeah.
yeah, my stimulus checks
That's what
in.
I'm saying.
Stimulus
So
checks
it's like-
in.
Coinbase
This is
reported
fake money.
they had
This is just printing, and it's going to just.
Mhm.
I mean, I think Hex could really like make massive moves. I mean, my next target is 5 cents. Just saying. I'm
A lot of
also
people-
Yeah.
buying. I'm waiting to buy. I have a lot of ETH just chilling. And I'm waiting for 0.0025 to.
A lot of people really don't know about Hex, though. There are still a lot of people who don't.
Yeah. People find projects when they pump. So when next time after we get like an all-time high on Hex, that's when people are going to be. Because I remember when we, when was it? I think when the AA started really pumping, that's when I just started like it was just like everyone was so like pro. Everyone knew exactly what Hex was. It like this was day like I don't know 100 still like everything was like experts and stuff. And then the price started launching, and then like it's like how do I buy Ethereum? How do I send this? I was like, what the hell happened?
So
The Hexo chat went crazy, man.
yeah, it went insane, dude.
So you sold good texture, bro. He's like, talk more about Unipower since I just bought a bag.
Dude, Unipower is dope, actually. It really is.
He almost
getting
got
a
me.
It's a 33
Extra
cents.
cents, 2020.
Cents.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
look at-
I'd vote for you,
Good,
man.
Hexologist.
right now anyway. Let me check the price. 60 cents. I'm about to sell. Sell.
He's like, hold on, guys.
I mean, I
gotta-
bought it 44
1
cents.
second.
So that's
Oh
a great
my
game.
God.
That's what I'm talking about. There's no chart. So when you buy at 44 and it goes up to 60, you need to sell at least 20% of your position, and then it's going to move down, maybe back to 52, and then you buy your position back, and you just made money. Like this isn't even. There's not even a chart for this stuff yet.
All right, I'm doing it. It's done.
I'm about to
Okay.
I'm in this motherfucker.
Unipower,
I'm
let's
already-
go.
See, now I'll
You're gonna
crawl on
own a
my
piece of
belly for the
Uniswap.
games.
Like you're owning a piece of Uniswap's fees, and if I think Uniswap's going to blow up.
Oh, it is because nobody knows
So
about it yet. They're
it's-
not talking
It's
about
a
it yet.
lucrative investment.
Good texture. F you.
Long-term hold on Unipower.
All right, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
You're still when you go into crypto spaces and they're hollering scam, hex this, hex that, Richard this, Richard that, and then they start talking about liquidity, and you say, well, how are you worried about? Have you been to Uniswap? What the fuck is that? You're
Yeah.
like, what? Wait a minute. I mean, obviously they're idiots because they don't know what hex is, first of all, and then they don't know what Uniswap is.
I had
And-
to educate my cousin who's a Tron developer. He had no idea what Uniswap was.
Wow.
Jeez,
Wow.
man.
Crazy.
Well,
agree,
there's no
RG3.
advertising. They're not advertising it. I mean, nobody knows about it. I mean, it's just it's the crypto space is horrible at advertising, and the advertisers that we do have are horrible.
There you go. Like Kraken.
They're
I mean,
advertising.
they're guys like me are the advertisers. Guys like fucking me getting on YouTube and shilling shit and talking about shit, and then getting paid by exchanges and all that other crap. Of course I don't, but I mean, it's just guys getting on the internet and starting to talk about it.
Give us your play. Like, how would you go ahead and?
Oh, there we
shill
go.
a coin?
How would I what?
How would you shill a crap token or coin?
How would I shill a
Yeah.
crap
How would
token?
you?
Call John McAfee and pay him
Oh my God.
for you.
It'd have to have some bitchin' cool double throwdown trick of the week name. That's for sure. Like fucking porn coin. I could give me porn coin
What?
and
We talking about potential coins or real shit coins? Like shit coins.
like
What
shit
are we talking
coins,
about?
like freaking
okay.
garbage shit coin. Like RG3 went into fucking back into Etherscan and created his own fucking coin tonight.
You should actually create a coin called garbage, and it would be garbage coin, and then you could create some bullshit website and link to how we're going to clean up all the garbage of the world or some bullshit, and it's green, and it's the Green New Deal garbage coin.
Clean up
Hook
the
brother.
oceans.
Yeah, I'm saying people would fucking buy
You
it.
would buy that.
Just fucking look at this turtle. Look at this turtle. That's garbage in this turtle.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
just
Let's
God.
clean the garbage out of this turtle.
Clean
I
the
found the
shell.
coin.
Clean
Save the
shell.
turtles.
save the
Simp-
planet. Don't you want to
simp
save
coin.
the fucking
Simp
planet?
Simp coin.
Simp
Simp
coin.
coin.
That's
Oh
Simp
my
coin's a good
God.
one.
Simp coin. There you go.
great, bro.
Simp coin.
Simp
We are
coin.
out there curing simps.
Are you tired of being a simp?
Do you want to see her body? Do you want to see her only page? But invest into Simp coin.
Invest into
Oh,
Simp
God.
coin.
We have different levels in Simp coin, right? If you buy over 1,000 tokens in Simp level, you get bronze package. If you buy 10,000, you get into silver. If you're the big baller, you get to 1 million. You get to see everything.
Dude, it's a Clash of Clans right there, dude. People will
Yeah,
buy
right
it
there.
immediately.
Oh,
If people are
shit.
buying
Yeah.
Clash
Simp
of Clans,
coin?
they buy that shit.
Damn.
Shit, like
And then in
imagine
the middle of their in the middle of their viewing pleasure, we can shut the network down and piss them all off. And
Imagine all the other communities be like, "Oh, you're a simp." It just starts saying that,
dude, make RC20 token, and you just like, you know what, bro? Here, I just sent you a Simp coin. You're acting like a real simp right now, bro. Like everyone just starts sending people Simp coin with like, oh, bro, you're a
Hilarious
total
shit.
simp. Here's a shit ton of Simp coin, man.
Yeah, and every time you simp out in the chats, you like get coins. You start gathering them
Goddamn.
like a DTube, like a Steam it account. You're and they're simping around, and they just start putting coins on your account. Start ratcheting up.
I really wish Steam It actually got their shit together.
yeah, man, they messed
That
up.
whole
I
thing
really
just got
wish.
jacked.
It's never gonna. Like you've had enough time, and it's awful still.
It's the language translation too.
So what do you guys think? So Hex is done. We've got a product. I mean, it blows my mind because every other ICO and thing and whatever that I didn't get into. I guess we're not supposed to even say we did, right? But I mean, so all of these promises, there was a lot of money that went into those fucking things. A lot of money. And I mean, wouldn't you think they would have did something to finish a project or something? I mean, they all just exit scammed because nobody finished anything. Nobody finished shit. You know, they're all buying Lambos and hookers and cocaine, and they just forgot about their projects. Is that what it?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're
and then they all lost money. Of course, they all lost their asses and had Lambo payments.
A lot of people made a lot of money. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big money.
But
these influencers are going broke now, man. They're running out of money now.
Yeah.
That's why they're shilling
Good
by
point,
bit.
Moses.
yeah, but most of these influencers on YouTube weren't the Bitcoin billionaires and millionaires. They just weren't.
There's
A
still
lot of
some
people
projects.
a lot of these people front ran as having hundreds of millions of dollars, and like I'm gonna even put Tone Vase in there. I don't think he's got as much money as he says he does, or what
I agree.
people would assume he has. I'm gonna say I don't think he actually ever disclosed anything about his money, but I don't know.
A lot of people.
So,
got wrecked.
I watched his live stream when Bitcoin was crashing, and he's like, his brother was like, "Should I short it?" And it's like, no, you're already wrecked. What are you talking about? You need to buy that.
You're already
Like,
wrecked.
How are you the best trader in crypto? I don't even get this. I
You
was
need to go
buying. It
take a fucking shower, dude, and go to bed.
doesn't make any sense. You
Love
buy
them,
pain
man.
and you sell greed.
And
It's
a
very
lot of those
simple.
organizations, there's still some that are in denial. You have a lot of people still trying to hire people. They're in denial. A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of companies
Wow.
are in denial.
Well, you see it. You see it. All the Bitcoin moon boys out there. I mean, there's Mill talking like. I remember just the last week they were here comes 10K. Here comes 10. Hit the fucking ceiling, bumped its head, and went back down.
I don't want to talk too much crap about Bitcoin just because I have one chart. I have a chart that's a death chart to 2023, but I also, and this is happening within the next few months, which is just my time scale on it. If Bitcoin refractals itself larger, and I'll share a chart in Discord shortly. Then
Which
Bitcoin
chat?
will go to it's a Bitcoin chart, and if what I'm seeing on the chart is basically a small fractal of the early days of Bitcoin and how it reacted and how fast it exploded, and now you look at the whole macro chart and it's the same exact pattern right before it exploded. So what I'm suggesting is if that pattern does complete and that fractal completes, then Bitcoin is going to 1 million rather quickly. Yes.
Okay.
Now,
I
Very
think
sad.
charts are bullshit.
yeah, but you look at
I think
everything
crypto
going
charts are
on in the
bullshit.
world. Look at everything.
I'm
that's
just
going
gonna
on
say
in
it
the world.
because it's hard enough to out in the real world to trade fucking Coca-Cola and Disney and all that shit with a chart. You come into crypto and it's like, come on. There's way too much volatility to be looking at Fibonacci retracements and all this other bullshit to think that you're going to be able to
No, but I mean,
plan a
if
market
something
and crypto.
if something gets wrecked, like here's a rule of thumb: if something drops by 90%, it's probably not the worst buy. That's probably a good buy because it's probably at least going to rebound by 30% rather quickly.
Do you
Does that
only
make
get
any-
into coins that you don't like, or you just check the chart? Are you more of like the chart guy? Like you don't care about the fundamentals. You just see like, oh, this thing
No,
dumped
I
already.
do
Let me just.
care about fundamentals. I do not
Okay.
invest in like scams. I was not in any of these like hex built on Ponzi's. I need to be in a coin that I want to accumulate coins.
Okay.
So
Thank you. That's what I.
Just
Yeah,
reinvest.
that's right. Yeah.
So I take small amounts of profit from some coins and then I'll invest it in a new coin, try to trade it, see what happens with it. And then, but continuously try to accumulate more of these things. These are very valuable. all of these DeFi coins are very valuable right now. People have no idea how valuable these coins are.
No, I feel you
Appreciate
on that,
the
man.
perspective, you know.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I mean, I totally see it. Yeah, because if I knew about a coin for a long time and I liked it, I liked the project and stuff. Yeah, I'm one of the few people that do that. I know. I mean, I bought the low on Litecoin. I bought the low on a lot of these. I bought the low on Bitcoin and stuff. And I was like, I know I was one of the only few. I mean, of course, there's a bunch of people around the world, but in terms of like people, it wasn't that many. You know,
you're
like,
not part of the majority. That's.
Like
the majority bought in
low.
December of 2017.
I was screaming at my friends, telling them not to buy. Do not buy 19K. Do not do it. Do not do it. I gotta do it. It's gonna go up. No, fucking. I'm sorry. I gotta sell.
There's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah, I think I still bought at 16K though. I think that was the highest I paid for a Bitcoin.
A lot of people
crazy how much people can know and still they FOMO into the the hype and like, oh, it's still going.
It happens all the
more
time.
Higher. I know it's all the time. Crazy, it's psychology, the market psychology.
Yeah.
It's sad that people think Bitcoin's a scam because of that, though. Like a lot of people.
Richard told people for 2 years that he was going to make a coin and don't FOMO in on day one, and the fucking people that followed his ass, half of them sitting on the show, fucking FOMO'd in on day one. I mean, it's like.
I grabbed like 3 ETH on day one. I'm not gonna lie.
Richard actually saved.
Let me just toss like 3 ETH in here.
I did this many 6 ETH on day one.
And I would have too if I wouldn't have freaking fell asleep for a month.
I had 12. I cut my first day by half. I was gonna do 12 ETH on the first day, and I was like, wait, no, chill, 6.
Yeah, that's exactly right, bro.
I'm with you, man. But and then I dollar cost average all the way out to day 61.
Yeah.
Like
half. Did good at it.
For 61 days, and then I was like, okay, it's pumping, stop buying, and then it just train wrecked it up. Like,
it's crazy.
Wow, that was impressive what it did. And what Hexologist was saying the other day, I think was it's not, or no, actually what you were saying, I think the other day, RG3, about how much money it would take to 3x this. It's like nothing.
I think they said like $7 million. I think that's what they said.
It's really not a lot of money.
It's nothing.
I mean, that's
price, boom.
It's not a lot.
There's people with more more balance in one coin in their wallets. I mean, if you ever guys scan, look through the Bitcoin Explorer and shit like that, like some of these people have a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
good point.
Mm-hmm. Was it like 2,000 wallets hold 42% of the Bitcoin is in 2,000 wallets? 42% is in 2,000 wallets. That's a lot of freaking power right there.
And that's not the worst one because like I did this entire thing where I went down through. I think I did about like 80 of the top 100 coins. I went through all the I did the rich lists on all the coins, and the best coin I think was like 38%. The top 100 wallets own 38% of it. The rest of them were between 40 to like 98% owned by the top 100. Like
I've seen some of them with 90%ers in there,
Yeah.
And I ain't heard not one YouTuber talk about those. Not one. Say, oh, that's a scam. There's too much ownership in one wallet. That's horrible.
It's not in their best interest, man.
What do you guys? Let me ask you actually, because I have a theory on Big Payday and what's going to happen before that, and I do believe that Richard Hart has taken so much shit in the crypto space over the years as a scammer, as this piece of shit. And now I've watched most of his videos since the beginning. Like, yes, does he come off as sometimes a little arrogant? Yeah, but he's smart. So it's there for a reason, if you're smart, and sometimes I do too, but fuck, I'm smart. So, if you are what you are, you kind of have that attitude.
Well, it's confidence. It's not a,
exactly. It's just, listen, like, here's some knowledge I can share with you. Make yourself better. There you go. And I don't think he's going to scam anybody on this. And I actually think he's going to turn into Hex Jesus. This is my theory. And I have a feeling.
Oh, no.
I have a
Hex
feeling.
Jesus.
You got to change that name.
Yo, straight up. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. But I have a feeling he's going to stake the entire account right before big payday.
And then emergency end
For a
stake
very
it.
long time.
And then emergency end stake it.
Either that, or he's going to give out, or he's going to start. He's also talked about how he liked Prime Coin and how that founder, where there was a whale of Prime Coin that was giving out Prime Coin for a while. Like what happens after the adoption amplifier. So if somebody has a big enough bag of HEX and they can still give out HEX to people to onboard it, I don't know. That's speculative, but I have a feeling. I mean, can you imagine if like billions of HEX just locked up right before big payday? Everyone, big payday is fucking getting like 10%.
Hexing.
I'm trying to think though. So if he were to stake like a large portion right before big payday, that would decrease
because the share rate is still so high. Everyone would be wrecked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
but the price would skyrocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the shit that you did have liquid would be so fucking valuable.
Yeah.
It would be like
in the crypto space, and if you lock it in a 15-year contract. Now, I'm not sure if anybody has messed around with ending stakes. I needed to know what the penalties are. I'm wondering. So I've messed around with like, all right, at what percentage do you get your principal back? And I've tried small stakes and stuff out like that. If you stake for 15 years, there's no way you're touching your principal for like at least 5 years. At least.
Yeah, it's gone at that point.
That's what I mean. Like, just to get your principal back, you got to go at least, I think, 40-something% of your stake.
Yep. And most of those people aren't first-time stakers, so they're not even going to be. Most people probably aren't worried about that,
Yeah.
Yep.
so. This is something that I don't know if we've done the math on or who's the maths guys that have done this, but I know that at some point you're positive. You're kind of ROI, or you're not ROI positive. You're par for ending stake early.
Over 50%, I think.
And
this is like something I've been saying for like a while, like just in case, like we imagine we get a gigantic unstake, right? And it's like a couple billion. What the OA could end up doing is doubling the amount. So let's just say someone unstakes 1 billion HEX, right? They could just automatically stake 2 billion HEX. And then it's sort of like a counterbalance to stop like the bleeding or to like, fuck yeah, man, holy crap. Because it's going to stop people from speculating.
I'm not going to lie. I'm waiting for a lot of my stakes that I staked on day like 25 and 42. I didn't stake them for long enough. I didn't realize I didn't stake them for long enough.
It's not worth for you end staking.
It's not. It's worth me waiting for that 50% mark, ending stake,
Gotcha.
and restaking for, combining a bunch and restaking for longer.
Yeah.
The share rate is so people don't understand
crazy.
Why that is so important. It is so important.
Oh, especially after big payday. Once that thing.
Oh my God! I put a tweet on Twitter. I said, after big payday, within a month, the share rate will probably negative 10x down, and within 1 year, it'll be negative 100x.
Negative 100x in 1 year
on the share rate. Yeah.
Damn.
People are locking up $500,000 at a clip on this. You can watch. Look at all this.
You can see it.
You
can see it.
I can see it. I have a lot of fucking money locked on X right now. Jesus Christ. And I'm okay with it for years. Like, I'm completely fine with it.
Yep.
Here's to you, man.
Cheers. Cheers to that.
You got me to drink on stream again, man. God damn it.
I was wondering what you've been like on the wagon, Lietcoin. You've been on the wagon. You haven't been. Usually, you're tipping it hard on the stream.
Oh, thanks. No, it's because like I said, like I'm only gonna drink on stream, and then I started doing fucking 6 streams a week. I'm like, gee, what the hell am I doing, man? It's like I only, it got a little ridiculous, man. I was getting like smashed like every single day, dude. And I was like, what am I doing, dude? I gained like 5 pounds drinking that much. I was like, oh, look at
Dude,
this.
it's that quarantine. I call it
The quarantine
it's
weight, bro.
my coronication, actually.
Coronication.
Coronication.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, shit. I don't have to drive to Manhattan every day. I live 100 miles from Manhattan. I work in Manhattan. I drive there every day. So
Wow.
I'm all
Damn,
set.
bro.
I feel you on that though.
Right
I feel
now.
you on that.
Yeah, I'm all set with that.
Oh,
It is.
Especially with
Yeah.
crypto's booming like this, I've actually made more money not working
I'm gonna grab my
in
charger
crypto
really quick.
recently than fucking going to work.
Good thing.
That's so crazy.
Alright.
I wonder how many people are just gonna permanently be like, you know what? I don't feel like going to work. Let's work something out with their jobs. Like, there's gonna be a lot of that. A lot. Especially
know-
with these companies finding out that they don't need to have certain people at work.
oh yeah. Well, I had a new job that did that to me just now. They're like, well, we were going to bring you on, but we're just going to start working everybody out of the house and cutting our force in half. And so, yeah, I was in the middle of moving into a new job when all this went down.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Sorry.
Or what's your forte?
Well, I was going into sales for a tech company, and but before that, I was a millwright. I moved and built machinery, and
Okay.
I'd done that for 30 years, and I just kind of recently retired from that. Not retired, from work, but just left that industry because I'm just wrecked. I got 8 herniated discs. I'm a freaking mess.
And I think I caught a stream where you said that you were a Marine, correct?
Yeah, I was a Marine too, so that didn't
Thank
help.
you for your
So the
service,
brain's fucked up
I
and the
appreciate
body's
it.
fucked up.
I appreciate your service, really.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're gonna buy you a new body, bro.
That's what I'm hoping, Richard. Come on, man. Sci-vibe, baby. Sci-vibe.
You feel me?
I really don't think
Hexologist
you'll
was a
have to
Marine
long.
too, right?
Yeah.
Get me to my
Yeah.
five steak, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the crazy
Yeah.
thing is, I think it's going to be within a couple of years on Hex, people that like myself that have stakes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years out, and in 6 years from now, my 15-year stake, I'm going to be looking at it, and it's already 10,000x, or it's so
Drooling.
high. It's like, how do I
Yeah.
not just fucking end this stake? You know what I mean?
You think so?
But I think at that
I feel
point,
you.
the dollar's not going to matter, and that's what I mean. I think this is actually the first crypto designed to be a stable coin pegged to itself.
It's crazy.
So
that
what,
makes any
what's
sense.
what's your estimation then for once it kind of stabilizes at a certain price level? Where would you kind of think where Hex starts kind of stabilizing?
I will share with you guys a glorious meditative vision that I had. I'm a bit rather spiritual as well, and it was. I had this thought of population growth, and I love science and math, of a population growth of a bifurcation pattern, and at a certain rate, what it's currently doing right now is pinging up and down, but it was like this meditative vision that I had, and Hex will be you'll actually be trading hearts or moving hearts and not Hex.
Hearts, yeah, nice.
And it's designed to actually be used like that, so you're not using decimals. It is designed to be the better crypto. Does that make sense?
So
you're
not using like 0.00001 or whatever Satoshi.
using hearts. You're going to send people hearts. You're going to send people love, basically. Love is going to be the crypto of the future, basically. Hearts. So anybody right now that has Hex is going to be extremely wealthy. I'm just letting you know.
Could
It's such a
be,
good
yeah.
project.
And like with the shares and stuff, like when you buy shares, it's in huge numbers.
That's what
It's in like huge numbers.
And these other cryptos that are staking don't have the shares, and that's what makes it valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Man, the hearts of the future.
Here's to you, FOMO.
I got to put this up just because this is the show. This is what we do.
Just nutted in my pants.
Shout out Mousetrip, dude. What's up?
Hell yeah!
Brissology too.
Mouse.
Brissology too. Always in the chat, man.
Always,
Yep.
man. Check
Always.
gang.
Fire bun.
Hey, chat. I think I'm gonna peace out. Let someone else come in the stream. Let another person come on in. But
You're
All right,
getting a
well,
little
little
faded there, huh,
discount.
bud?
All right, man.
Well, no, I saw Hexologist in the. It's not even that. I just saw Hexologist in the chat, and I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
you're
someone else
embarrassed,
that
huh? Oh shit.
Well, no, someone that might be able to contribute.
It's all that
maybe
recycling.
Instead of listening and
It's
nodding.
all that recycling.
Someone else can maybe.
Hey, Brant,
you
thanks
know.
for
Yeah.
hanging out with us, man.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming,
it.
man.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure.
Thanks, bro. Nice meeting you.
Have a good one, bro.
For sure.
Have a good
Hey,
night,
you
man.
too, guys.
Yep.
See you
Yeah.
next Friday. All right.
Take care,
Peace.
man.
Anybody else
Peace-
want to
peace out.
come on in? We're probably going to be cutting it short here in a little bit, but the
Yeah. it's-
conversation's getting pretty interesting.
It is.
Yeah, man. That was trippy about the hearts, dude.
That's awesome, bro.
Let's
Yeah.
keep vibing, dude. Let's keep going, man.
You know, I thought of that. In the beginning, I was like, okay, I was reading about the hearts thing and all that, and I'm like, man, it's a better system
Hearts.
to be moving the hearts and turning it into what crypto was supposed to be turned into is a way to move that.
So basically, you're thinking like one hex could really be worth a lot.
Yeah, a lot of money. Because if you think about it, think about how much money is currently in crypto. You have less than $300 billion. There are hundreds of trillions of dollars in the world. Dollars.
Right.
Just dollars alone.
Yep, and sitting in storage. They're sitting in storage.
Fucking storage. Why do you think they need to keep printing money? Because these people with $1 billion don't need to spend their money and they put it in.
No, it's just sitting in storage.
That's what I'm saying. You know how much money is just out there?
Yep, and a lot of the volatility that's going on with Bitcoin is a scare for a lot of people.
And on top of it, let's get one thing straight. Donald Trump wants to take down the Fed. That has been his number one goal.
Well,
Most
he
people
hasn't
don't
done it yet.
understand that. The amount of references to dismantling the Fed because it is a corrupt entity that has raped the American people for the better part of 100 years.
Yep.
He's been very vocal about that. If you actually watch this stuff, and how do you get rid of the Fed? You make them print themselves out of existence. They're doing right now. This is very planned what's happening. I have no worries about anything in the world right now. This is a glorious time.
It is, but my argument to that whole thing with the
There you go. There you go.
my argument is that money is money and the dollar is king and everything else is underneath it. No matter how much you print out, they haven't heard it yet. Even with all the trillions that they've done, they have not heard it yet.
The euro's dog shit.
It was dog shit before they started printing. It's still dog shit. It's not, but
Fuck the euro.
it's the best dog shit on the planet is the sad thing. So it's dog shit. You can't print it out of being dog shit, and it's the best thing on the planet. So guess what? You don't have an alternative, and crypto isn't that alternative. I'm sorry, it hasn't done it yet.
But also, I think once the fiat system starts crashing, which I think at some point it will, I think it's going to be first like the South American, Central American kind of countries, because it seems like now even their currency, it's kind of getting weak versus the dollar, and I'm sure some of the whatever in Europe and stuff. So my prediction is eventually some of those kind of Latin American, their currencies are just going to collapse. And then probably they
already are.
Yeah, I mean, but eventually, all hyperinflation like Venezuela, and then I think there'll be the dollar and maybe a couple other strong ones like I don't know, maybe the Chinese yuan, maybe, and then from there, who knows? It could get very complex. But I think eventually, way down the road, at some point, you'll have I think everything will the U.S. dollar. I think it'll all be just digital at some point.
Right.
So you don't
already is digital.
You're right.
It is digital.
So you guys don't think it will accompany the dollar, or you guys think it'll be straight up like crypto or digital? Just digital, I guess.
I think
the dollar is still going to be there. The dollar ain't going nowhere.
It's going to get digitized.
You're going to be trading the dollar. It's going to be digitized. It already is digitized.
Yeah.
It is though.
I hope there's still some sort of anonymous paper or some sort of currency that I can give to someone physically.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough because I don't care how much anonymity you think your coin has. I don't know what the NSA has, but I know that their shit is top notch. And I also currently on my computer, I'm not sure if anybody knows what QAnon is or anything like that, or anybody follows WikiLeaks.
I've heard of them, but I never really.
You know what WikiLeaks is?
Yeah. Q.
So
I heard a Q.
You can go on, and they dumped so many files. But I currently have on my computer every single text message and phone call that took place on 9/11. That technology shouldn't have existed until after 9/11 because the Patriot Act wasn't even signed. So as far as anonymity,
They were pulling it from the phone company.
It shouldn't have been allowed, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
They shouldn't
But
have.
guys like me had access to all that.
And that was 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what the NSA server can do. So who knows? Maybe they even fucking built CyberGhost and they built half these VPNs and they're running the servers. I wouldn't put it past them.
Right.
For what though? For what? For what?
Well, it seems to me like their next step is just to do complete, contact tracing, just complete surveillance.
But for what? For what? What do they want you for?
Just more control, and they are
what? Of your ass from doing
You're
what?
saying that we're not important enough.
You're not fucking important enough.
No,
that's what I'm telling you.
No,
that you
it's all about enslavement. Like we are the slaves of the system.
Global taxation.
I've been enslaved
Global
for 30
taxation.
years.
That's what it is.
So you got this is something that has nothing to do with technology. This is here's my opinion, and you can go and look at. There's tons of research. We are approaching grand solar minimum. Grand solar minimum will happen roughly around 2038. They need to enslave the population to distract them because people don't understand what's actually going to happen at grand solar minimum.
So grand
Has
solar
anybody
minimum.
heard anything about any of this?
Nope.
I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole if you're not.
Go as deep as you want, man.
Go as deep as you want, man. I've heard of it. I've just never had it. I don't know much about it.
I've roughly heard, but I've heard that they're spraying things like into the air to block out the sun.
Well, I mean, they've been.
Hey, Funding Jim, what's going on?
What's up, bro?
You can look at declassified documents from 1970, putting the CIA they ran a program in 1970. I think it was 3.
I don't think you can say that on your stream.
Oh, good. I mean, it was a government. They declassified it. They told people that they did this. Yeah, they were putting certain chemicals inside of jetliner fuel, trying to mess with the atmosphere. And that was back. They were doing research on that in the 70s. So it's all viewable. You got to go and look at it. That's all. It's out there. Go and look at it. Most of the time, you got to use an Onion browser though.
Yeah, but I think with the grand solar minimum and even like climate change and global warming, a lot of them, for a while I was really going deep into research. In my personal opinion, I think it's all fake and I think it's a hoax. And I think
Barclays never would listen. I helped build $1 billion buildings in Manhattan, and Barclays would never give a loan to anybody on the right there in Manhattan if in 15 years there's going to be under 30 feet of water. Think about these buildings are fucking $4 billion a piece, and they have 99-year mortgages.
So I have a little bit of a pushback with that idea, and the idea is it's all imaginary.
Yes.
So when the Fed can print trillions of dollars and they can lend it at effectively 0% to JP Morgan, and those can basically write a loan that says you pay me for 30 years as a commercial loan or as a residential loan, and you pay me out of your labor because your labor is 30 years and you believe you're going to have a pension, you believe you're going to have a social security, you can believe you have equity, whatever your perception of value is. So if it costs you nothing to have basically hooks into a human being, I mean, it's hooks into your labor. You can never reclaim your youth. You can never reclaim the time that you put into a life.
Nope.
Right? So
the time
effectively get tricked out of your time.
Yeah,
so
you trade your hours for dollars. Is what
good point. Good point.
Yeah. So the intangibility side of it, I deal with credit all the time. I deal with, equity and things like that. And people have different ideas of what value is. They deal with options on, I'm going to work for this startup and maybe the option someday will be worth something. Or maybe I'll put time into experimenting as my own business, and my business may deal with intangibles. But because it's dealing with intangibles, there's a value for value exchange, and there's something along the lines of, cash flow, or however you want to look at it. So even when you look at real estate, if you're looking at real estate, what you should look at for yourself is, Does this keep the rain off of me? Does this keep me sheltered from basically secure place to locate my things and the utility of that? But most of us, especially in California and other places that are very expensive, like New York, where you might be, is we look at it as, this is my savings, this is my retirement, this is what I'm going to spend in the future. And it really is all faith that you're going to be here tomorrow to spend that money that you're sequestering away. You're locking into something. That's your faith that you are going to exist in 10 years. And we're doing it with HEX too. And I believe that I'll be able to claim stakes that I've made 10 years, 15 years out. So I believe in HEX the same sort of way. But when a bank writes a loan on things that didn't cost them anything to loan you, it's just a ledger entry. So Miami can go underwater. You can have global warming and sink things. You can have all kinds of danger elements. You can have earthquakes that disrupt physical property, and there'll be insurance policies. There'll be other companies on the hook. But effectively, really, it is all basically an agreement we're born into, because we're born into a fiat system. We weren't born into a barter system.
And the bank wins all the time. Win, lose, or draw, the bank always wins. When this mortgage crisis went down, they won on the government side, they won on the mortgage side, they won on the default side. That made the banks richer than they've ever been.
Yes.
They owned more property, more people's money, more people got wrecked, and they got money on top of it and property on top of it. And then they got bailed out by all of us. So they took from our pockets, they took from our mortgages, and we missed out.
Yeah, and it's still happening right now. You know,
they never lose.
Everything's in shambles, and the stock market is still rallying.
So
almost all-time high.
What makes anybody here think that they're important enough for these people to want to listen in to whether or not you're sex talking to your girlfriend, or you're buying some Bitcoin somewhere that's worth a whole market share of 200 and under $300 billion? They can give a shit less. They've got it already. They've got us all enslaved. I just gave them 30 fucking years of my life, 30 years of hard work and labor for this American dream that Jim was just talking about. For my house, my kids go to college, the whole damn thing. I bought into that whole 40-40-40 thing. And they could give a shit less about a guy like me. They have already got me by the balls. They've got they've enslaved
that's the
me.
thing.
They don't need to spray shit in my fucking air. They don't need to try and tap my phones. They've already done it. It's done. It's over with. Yeah, and their dollar is going to be king.
But I feel like there's still room, and I feel like they're still trying to outline the new system of like just even more control, more enslavement, enslavement. And I think with like with the contact tracing, with just the more, if they have a digital dollar.
No, they just want to sell you more shit. They want you to buy more shit.
No.
I still think it's about more control. Still,
it's because people in crypto are going to become the next important people in the world, right? So then you're building a blackmail list and fucking bullshit on somebody to control them, because it's like, what, you don't got to worry about the fucking peons, right? But of the peons that eventually become something in this world, you got something on them. Yeah. You've got something. You
don't care about the handful of them, because they've got any amount of money that we can make in crypto. I'm telling you right now, there's people out there that would jump out of a fucking 10-story building if they had the kind of money we had. True. If they had the kind of money that somebody in crypto had, they'd be wrecked. They'd be wrecked at 250 billion.
But one day, some of us will get to that point, or at least halfway to that point.
That's what we're all hoping, right?
No, that's what. I mean, what the fuck were you working for? I mean, what the hell are we doing all this shit? How much time we're wasting? We're over here for 2 hours, 12 minutes, 57 seconds talking about HEX.
Well, a couple of million will clean your clock, buddy. A couple of million will make you happy. You wouldn't have to struggle all the years that I've had to struggle making, chump change. I mean, not chump change, but, making enough to survive and raise a family and buy a house and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Enslaving myself, trading my hours for dollars. But if you make a couple mil, you're free. Couple million frees a guy like us.
For now.
Like me, anyway.
For now.
And then nobody cares. Nobody out there cares about a couple $1 million. To a guy like me cares, but they don't. They can give a shit less. Yeah. What RG3 does with a couple $1 million.
No, man, I used to work for Wells Fargo. I've seen people's personal accounts with just the most retarded amounts of money in it. Crypto's nothing.
Yeah.
Still.
So really, when it comes down to it, money or currency or however you want to say it is just language. All it is language. And when you have a small population, let's say something like, I don't know, Lithuania, there's not a lot of people that are speaking the language in Lithuania. There's Lithuanians speaking that language, but there's not a lot of people on the planet. So when it comes to the planet, most people are speaking English or Chinese. It depends on how you want to frame things. And really, the only reason that we're speaking those languages, we might be born with a different mother tongue, but we might learn those other languages because they are the languages of money. They're languages of currency. They're languages of trade or barter. So you see Chinese people will learn English because they will utilize that ability, that you will translate from your mother tongue. And so really currency, money, whatever you want to call a value system of something other than the roof over your head, the gun in your hand, the crop that you grow, the things that you have your own sovereign control over, right? Yeah. You're part of a society, and you're going to say, well, if I'm going to drive on roads and when the flashing lights are behind me, I'm going to pull over and I'm going to give them my registration and I'm going to comply. I'm not going to pull this bullshit and say I'm a sovereign citizen and you don't have control over me because I'm driving on this road and I'm an American. Don't do that shit. You will get shot.
Yeah.
What I am saying is you're making an agreement. I'm going to speak this language. This language is these rules, these laws, these compliance. This is the policy that the majority of us are going to adhere to. And I think I said something before was you're either going to be willingly compliant and a sheep. And I'm not saying sheep don't have a use. They have a use. Most of us pay taxes. Most of us like when we call the police that they show up at our house and help us out, or that the firemen stop the fire from burning down our property, right? Most of us like that we can go to a court system and say, this person has wronged me or my family, and there needs to be some social justice or whatever you want to call it. So we like to be sheep when we want the protection of the shepherd or whatever you want to call it. And as long as it's a shepherd that says, I'm going to look out for you because I just want to shear you, we make that agreement. We make that deal. We speak that language. We use that currency. We say, I want to convert this crypto XYZ into something else that we might call millions of dollars or rubles or whatever you want to call it, right? So we're just expressing a different language when we translate or transform or whatever. But we're either going to do that, or we're going to say, nope, today I'm not a sheep. Today, I don't want to get sheared, but you will get slaughtered. So you'll go against a bigger force, a bigger service. And, there's a lot of people that were veterans in here the other day I was talking, and, we part of that system to defend, honor, and all the things about patriotism, which I believe in. And I believe in a lot of stuff. But I'm not that naive at this point in my life to not realize that I'm part of Rome. I'm part of a system. I'm part of a militarized society. And truthfully, when you were saying earlier that South American countries or other countries might have their fiat crumble, yes.
Yeah.
By design. We actually benefit because places around the world trade physical things that they have in their country. They have timber, they have heavy metals, they have oil, they have gas, they have innovation, they have technology. We import those things from Japan, from South America. We import food crops, and we trade away a ledger entry. Mm-hmm. We trade away a digital dollar in a central bank in a different country held as a reserve. So we make that deal, and we don't really want unity. There's something I watched earlier today that was, I don't know if anybody ever watches Valuetainment. Does anybody ever watch Patrick on Valuetainment?
Patrick,
sometimes, yeah.
He had a really good one today, and obviously it's in response to this Floyd, riots and stuff like that's going on right now. And I'm not a super conspiracy sort of person. He did make the point about you always have to follow the money. You always have to follow the money about why things are happening. Yes, there might be outrage over here, and there might be conservatism over here, and says let's just keep the calm, let's keep the pace or whatever. But the ones that win are, like in this example, in my opinion, the media. The media makes money. They make money from clicks. They make money. This is an attention economy. The more things you share on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, that's more revenue in the pocket of the platforms themselves, whether it's the 6 o'clock news or whether it's the social media that we use from our cell phones. So I'm not saying that that's bad, but there's not benefit a lot of the times in unity. to a center point that says, I'm a trading platform. I believe stocks are going to go up. I believe stocks are going to go down. As long as I'm making the spread, I don't really give a fuck. I don't really care. I want the spread. I want the cash flow in between. And it's the same thing with everything that you're going to value. Some of us are going to value crypto for a long time, and they're going to be traded for something else. But it's all about the spread. So you have to look at that. How you spend your intellectual capital. You know,
I can't agree with you more. And I'm hopeful that there's going to be other products built that actually change the current models. I was looking at another DeFi project just recently that is going to pay people. It's like DeFi radio, and they're actually going to pay their listeners to listen to their radio programs with their crypto, because the advertisers are giving the crypto money to broadcast their content, and they're actually returning that to their users for actually listening to the content. So instead of like what YouTube does, where they're only paying out the YouTuber with YouTube ads, it's actually the people that are actually consuming the content that are actually going to be paid for their time. Because what is the most valuable thing in this world right now? It's your data. It's your data. Every single app on your phone wants to know everything about you, what you do, what you look at. Why? Because it's the most valuable thing in the world right now. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to take a couple cryptocurrencies pegged with different, and I'm not saying they're built yet, still really young, that is going to change that old legacy model to the new model where the users are actually going to benefit from these, like shit. When you go on YouTube, it's like it's a million ads. Who's benefiting from that? Really?
YouTube.
Exactly. And with DeFi,
we want to sell you
have the ability to change the guards of the future. Someone that's not going to censor you constantly. I love the fact that our president just signed the executive order about censorship with these social media platforms. Everybody has a voice, and the craziest of voices should be able to share. And as a community, you can decide whether you want to listen to them or not. The bad actors are going to basically be silenced, not by force, but by no one's going to want to listen to them.
Right.
In a free and open society.
But we've got enough people on the internet right now listening to them. We've got enough people right now believing crazy shit right now. I mean, there's crazy shit going on the internet. We've got people, young people, impressionable people learning from the internet and learning shit. There's shit out there.
When you censor some ideas and say that they're so bad, you can't even look at them. That makes them fucking curious.
Yep. Well, I'm not saying to censor them. What I'm saying is that it's dangerous shit.
They don't realize that physics, like all energy condenses into a sphere. This is the easiest. You know what I'm saying? Like, go on YouTube, you can actually get convinced.
Well, the tokenization of everything is what crypto could help. Because my time is valuable, and if I'm watching something, I'd rather let them say, "Hey, well, what ad interests you? We're gonna waste a minute of your time. Which of these 4 ads would you like to watch? We'll pay you a couple pennies to do so." And I click on it, and there's that should be how things work. It would be nice if they did that, and it would be valuable if they did that, and
it's like the basic attention token. They're already doing that.
And you can
tokenization
on Twitter with it.
Yep.
One of the biggest things that crypto is doing right now is that it's giving people who never had a stable currency access to multiple stable currencies, right? Like it's sort of like, if you're seeing that chart thing where like it's like the dude's got no brain, then his brain's growing and this, and then it goes he's enlightened, right? Like at first, like you're like, fuck stable coins. No, stable coins are they're trash, but they got their uses. Oh, stable coins are cool, and you're like, holy shit, stable coins are tight.
And it's sort of without stable coins. I would.
Well, Tether was a scam as soon as it came out. It was a scam. It was a scam. Stay away from Tether.
But I mean, of course, they're like they're bad, right? But the good thing about them is that it onboards tons of people. Like RG3 has been saying this for a while, which I totally agree with him, right? Like most of the money that's been coming into crypto has been into stable coins. Why is that? Because there is a gigantic demand for dollar. And if you look in terms of which, if you notice all the stable coins in the world, right, which ones are growing, right? You have the dollar, you have the yen. I mean, not the yen, but the Chinese currency.
The one, yeah.
The dollar's been winning. So the dollar's been winning. Like if you look at something called like dollar milkshake theory, right? Every time everything crashes down, people sell their assets, buy dollars. So in terms, crypto and the dollar are going to win for a long time. Eventually, there might be an inflection point where crypto ends up winning out the dollar, but it's not now. It really is not. I'd be surprised if it's 2-3 cycles from now, but we're going to get the death of a bunch of these smaller currencies and eventually the euro. And eventually what I think is going to happen is we're going to have the dollar and then we're going to have crypto. And then possibly at that point, there might be a point where we might just go into just a crypto world. But because the dollar is backed by the United States, not even just that, it's backed by bullets, military. And like, fuck all this computer shit, right? If the United States starts coming knocking, you're getting slapped. You're getting knocked.
So a tiny bit of a pushback is that, like you just said, the militaries enforce the dominance of the U.S. dollar.
Yes.
Okay, however you want to look at it. And even though it's a great narrative and it's a great sales pitch for us to be involved with crypto, it also is a very, very small little gnat of, tiny little bit of the economic system in general, because we can onboard and we can offboard into dollar, most likely. And you have to wonder why something like Tether can exist, or TUSD or UCSD or whatever the type of stable or whatever stable coin you want to call it.
Because they're allowing it right now.
They're allowing it. I've seen some interviews with the people who made actual. So Bitfinex, the CFO of Bitfinex went to actually New Mexico, and a lot of the Federal Reserve chairmans of that system, and actually spoke and explained Tether to them, and they were like, "Holy crap, we love this because it's based on the dollar." Because what you're doing, essentially, what they're doing is they're like, okay, people are not going to trust if we make a U.S. dollar coin, but if we pretend that it's some like renegade company making a dollar coin, people will get into it and stuff. What they love is that it's a dollar. That's they control the dollar.
So
that's what they love.
They're controlling part of the narrative, and part of the narrative is it has value versus any other proposal for a stable coin, because this one is anchored by dollar, and that dollar is inside of a bank charter, and only it takes a flip of a switch from one agency out of like hundreds that could do it to turn off access to that account. So instantly, if you're relaying the value of a Tether to the fact that it's backed by dollar, in moments, without any real justification, that tether to a dollar can be completely cut.
And that's the thing
is there's a reason why you can't easily go from Wells Fargo into whatever crypto you care about, because it's not equitable. It's not the same. And I'm not shitting on stable coins, but I'm saying that it's compelling you to believe still ultimately that the value of the stable coin is the dollar underneath it. So everything goes toward the dollar's value. Like everyone said earlier, it might not be great to be in the dollar, but when other countries feel like they're going shit in the fan, when other people feel like one asset class is dropping and nothing else will save me, they go to the dollar.
Because the whole world
where you just talked about.
I got one question.
It's the whole world is shitting its pants right now.
Yeah.
There's so many currencies around the world that could go to shit first before the dollar. That's what's going. Yeah, that they will, right? Like Venezuela. What's the official currencies? Like if you remember, was it 2018? I think it was 2018. They made Bitcoin, Litecoin, and fucking the Petro their official currency.
I want to bring up the Petro really quick because I have a question about this, and this is something that I've thought about now for a little bit, and I feel like this is going to be released rather soon, or become available somehow. A new invention. Can you imagine if oil all of a sudden was no longer necessary?
It's a dream, not a
imagination. I'm saying
no. I mean that's something that should happen.
Created
I can see the
demand using, Earth is a giant magnet.
Yeah.
People, has a magnetic field. Do you understand why cell phone chargers work on charger pads? We're standing on a charger pad. There's a lot of things that Tesla talked about. If that technology is broken and oil is no longer actually necessary, I'm not saying overnight, but our dollar is pegged to oil, the petrodollar. It's pegged to Saudi Arabia. That's the only reason why we protect Saudi Arabia and always love them so much, because they buy everything in dollars.
Well, they compel all other nations that pay them for their oil.
Yes.
Pay them
To buy it in dollars. Yes, you have
Right.
to buy oil, you have to buy it in dollars. So what happens if oil is no longer valuable? I mean, shit, I watched oil futures go to negative $38.
What'll happen short term is like we'll probably, this is full on conspiracy. If I was the U.S. government and that happened and oil became essentially worthless, right? What I would do is like create a false flag and start a war, and then remind the whole world like, holy shit, the United States is in control. And then people through just faith are like, oh yo, it's the dollar. The dollar's in control. And that's what would happen. Eventually, we'd peg it to some kind of electric futures, whatever would be the currency of that point, or just through force essentially. But that's what you would have to do is like, okay, during that point where everything's turbulent, right? Everyone's still on the dollar system. What you would do is false flag, create a world war. Everyone's so sheepish. You would create like a bread and circus, and then everyone's like, yeah, of course.
Like Central.
I'm so sorry.
So 2020 has been false flag at one after another.
Yeah,
Tell me
this year
about
has
it.
been so dog shit, dude. Everything has been.
It's been crazy this year.
How many bricks does it take to wonder how the fuck these bricks got to these peaceful protests?
That's
Come on.
wild.
Yeah.
The funniest thing though, it's like the position of the bricks too. Like, come on, you can be
right on the street corner. Free, throw one.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like everything that happened, like if anybody watches Joe Rogan, they had Commander Fravor on a couple months ago talking about the UFO sightings that Navy pilots see these UFOs all over the time. I'm waiting for the fake alien invasion. I'm just waiting for it. Just waiting. You had Bob Lazar on. He's been talking about Element 115. 6 months ago, our government comes out and says, "Oh yeah, Element 115. We have about 500 pounds of it." It's like, dude, this is perfect fucking deep state setup right now.
October, baby. October. I was expecting the
They
landing
it.
in October. I was thinking, okay, we're gonna have an alien invasion by October.
I mean, you had Rod Rosenstein testify yesterday. I watched that. He lied on under oath, which is what he was supposed to do. You have Hillary Clinton testifying on the 9th. She's going to lie under oath on September 9th because she has to, because they can't admit to these things because it would be treason. And then Trump will declassify a massive amount of documents proving that they lied and committed treason. But up until then, man, this is going to be chaotic. I don't expect any of these things to. It's going to be if a riot stops, something else is going to happen.
I think they got to keep the riots going just to kind of cover up all of the other.
They want Trump
to
bring in the military because then they want that image of this dictator image,
martial law.
They want that image, and it's not going to happen.
It's funny because our society in general is more and more. I don't even can say that we're more gullible, because if I look at a girl's Instagram page, I know that shit ain't real. That ain't how she looks. I know that girl. That ain't what she looks like in person. So I'm just saying, when you see something on television or streamed or brought out, whatever it might be, I don't necessarily believe it. And is that my nature? Is that or is that my culture now of the past 10 years, that every movie is CGI? Every actor that's in their 60s is now 20 in some kind of retro whatever. I don't really believe a lot of things.
HGH and testosterone, baby, it bring you back.
All hill side vibe.
Are we less gullible? I don't know.
More, definitely more. The internet
gullible.
has freaking faded people.
The
internet has fucking made people go absolutely fucking nuts.
There's a lot of people that have taken red pills. And once you take the red pill, you really cannot untake it. Yeah. And you cannot stop thinking like, well, I already know for 10,000 channels on the TV, all controlled by a single source.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So once you know certain things like that, it's very difficult to not think of the world in those terms. You just go scour documents that have been declassified by our government, from CIA from just decades ago. it's hard to have faith in them today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, a lot of you guys aren't old enough to have been alive and actually
I'm
functioning
talking about
before
that.
the internet.
Right.
And the world has gone fucking nuts. You guys have gone crazy because of the internet. I'm sorry. You know, things were different back then. We didn't have the shit that you guys have today. We didn't have the thought fucking monsters and the red pills and the fucking shit that you guys have. We didn't have that shit.
Stuff
You
is-
guys are overthinking everything. Everything is being put through this internet filter, and your thought processes are fucked. You guys are all going nuts from this internet shit. You guys need to back off, go fucking take a walk, eat some fucking grapes, and relax. Because the internet is fucking your brains up. Up. I'm sorry, kids. Your brains are whacked from the internet.
that shit is just out of control. That
Yeah.
So take
It's
a step
great, though.
back. Stake your hex.
I think when you talk about it in a history context, as far as the American experience, at least, you and I are old enough. I mean, maybe not. I was born in '70. Just to give you the background,
I'm older than you two, motherfucker.
Yeah. So, but I grew up. My parents were people that went through the Vietnam era, you know, into my birth and so forth, things like that. And one of the things, if I look at through all of the American history narrative that I got taught in elementary and high school, into college and so forth, 1776, we used to be a colony. We threw off the shackles. We had the Tea Party. We became independent. You have all of these different wars that came along that, you know, the savior might be the Americans that come to World War I and assist a tiny bit. Come to World War II and, you know, V is for victory, and look, we're all going to pull together and we're going to, you know, fight this scourge of Axis powers or whatever, right? But, and even in Korea, I didn't really hear that much about, you know, what the positive or negative aspects about the Korean War, but I certainly didn't hear about disdain for Korean veterans. I did hear that, you know, as I grew up later about Vietnam, and
Right.
Vietnam is one of those things where it was a national divide about almost like a Republican and Democrat or, you know, leftist or right wing kind of narrative of today, is that it divided the country so much in the Vietnam era. And I think it's one of those things where we had either a blind faith or a hook, line, and sinker, or however you want to look at it, but we felt we were the good guys until basically Vietnam. And I think in Vietnam, that was a really big either awakening or something in the late 60s of flower power and revolution and youth culture versus conservative. Yeah, so I think since Vietnam, my idea of what's real is really hard to sort out. And again, it goes to that thing I was saying earlier about this what is reality? Is it what you see on your Instagram or YouTube feed? Is it what you hear from a group of 100 people on your friend circle? And one of those things that really are making it hard, like RG3 was saying even more, is, you know, if I watch a movie on Netflix and I watch it 10 minutes, I'm not going to, and I don't have to do anything, but if I only watch it 10 minutes and I turn it off and go to something else, Netflix doesn't suggest other things like that because it knows I didn't complete more than 10 minutes of that watching. But if I watch something else and I watch it for the full hour and I'm engaged, are you still there? Yes, I'm still here. Whatever it is. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Alexa, same thing with Siri, is if the algorithm is fed and I prove that it gave me what I thought I wanted, then the tunnel or the vector is smaller of what's presented to me in the future. So you don't hear opposite sides. So actually, in some ways, I think even us as crypto people that believe in crypto, should also hear about the positive things about fiat. I know it's really blasphemous to say that, but most of us might have rent that we pay, that we got a credit score, that we bought a house, maybe you got married, maybe you did something else that you used dollar bills to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was some utility to it in some way. You know, almost everyone in America, for good or for bad, is leveraged to the fucking hilt. I mean, we are basically buying things that we utilize out of time we're promising we're going to pay back. We're going to pay back with our time of our labor or our intellectual capital, whatever it is, to pay off a debt. So I don't like that we're indebted, but there's a lot of utility to being able to not wait 20 years to buy your house or to buy property and use it in a capitalistic way to have a cash flow. You know, so you have to see both sides of things, in my opinion.
And that's what I'm getting at, is that there's two sides to all this, and that, you know, sucking down red pills and going off on this tangent is like, whoa, come back. We have a world here, we have people here, and we have reality here. And I understand everybody wants to get into conspiracy theories, and they're doing this to us, and they're doing that to us, and they're doing this to us. I understand there's some of that going on. Don't get me wrong. I do. I know that there's control, but I think that the control is really because they want to make money off of us. And the way they do that is, and the way they get their control of us is they get us to spend money and doing things. And that's where the control really comes in. They could really give a fuck less about all the other shit that we're doing. I mean, we live in a free ass country. It really is a free ass country. If you've been anywhere else in the world, you don't got what you got in the U.S. For those of us who are in the U.S., by the way, you know, and for the most part in the Western world, you have a lot of freedoms that aren't, you know, other places in the world. So, I mean, you got to look like what Jim was saying. You've got to look at what we got that's good. You got to try and make it better, and putting your brain in some place where it's just going to fucking just take you to a, I mean, some people are sucking down freaking lead because of this shit. You know, they're just losing it. And
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, if you're in crypto right now, I don't care where you are in the world, you are in an awful place. I can guarantee you're probably you didn't wake up to a fucking grenade. You know, you didn't wake up to a grenade. You didn't wake up having to go shit in a hole outside. If you're in crypto in 2020, you're not in a awful fucking place. You know, you're in a pretty good place probably.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, even just throwing around the words asset class, there's not a lot of people in the world that actually say those words. I mean,
can participate in an asset class.
Yeah. Do I have dinner today? Do I have labor tomorrow? Is my kid going to be sick? You know, so most of the planet, I mean, we're only 5%. All of America, all Americans is less than 5% of the entire population of the planet. That's all Americans. And out of that, you might have, I don't know, 40 million that might be considered middle class. You know, what number is in American standard? You know, a refrigerator, a simple TV, a sense of some level of security. What is middle class? So when we talk about people that can have or can even say that they have a different asset class, I mean, what the fuck's that mean to most of the planet?
Tremendously lucky.
We're tremendously lucky.
Yeah, tremendously.
Yeah, that's an American.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Franklin, you mind if I bust you here the next guy?
I'm out.
I think
I'm gonna hop off too.
Dude, Hexillionaire, it's awesome having you on, man.
You know, I would love to talk to you guys again, and
make sure you come back on, man.
You got a Twitter, man?
Yeah,
I
show your shit.
I always see him in Discord. Now that
I just created this Twitter because I
add me, man.
Really did not like any kind of social media. I didn't do any social media for like 4 years.
They got you, man. They fucking got you.
It got me. Bill Hex got me back into it because I was like, well, I have these giant bags of Hex. I need to start talking about this. I need to show my stuff here. But,
show your referral.
Hey, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
All right. Hey, Franklin, thanks for coming on too, bro.
I'll
Good seeing you again.
Later, dude.
All right, man. See ya.
Bye, Franklin.
Honesty, I love it.
Well,
and all right, guys, I'm about to be signing off here too, I think. So
yeah,
right on,
later, dude, Ryan.
Yeah, so
we'll do that podcast soon, Ryan.
Hey, Hexillionaire, stay on for a second.
See you guys.
The Vortex and my
hey, Hexillionaire, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, have you looked into that this Uni Power token that you were shilling to people earlier? Have you looked at it?
Yeah, man, I've looked.
Have you read the smart contract?
No.
Have you read, bro? You got to be careful. You got to be careful about shilling this garbage, man. That smart contract is garbage.
I've already sold out of it, but
yeah, I know. But you got to be careful on RG3's show about shilling garbage.
Why is that?
It's total.
Can you explain why it's garbage, please? Because I would like to
go look at it. It's 100 lines.
No, but I'm not a coder. I don't pretend to be a coder.
I am. I'm telling you, it's 100 lines of filler code to trick people into thinking it's doing something. It's total garbage.
So
just
No,
From Uniswap? So you're saying that Uniswap is now producing something that's garbage? I'm wondering.
No, sir. No, sir.
Everything
No,
could
no,
go
no,
on
no, no, no,
Uniswap.
no, no, no,
Everything
no,
could go
no.
on Uniswap.
Hold up. Hold up. No, 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 no. Hold on. Let me start over.
Educate me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So the project that you were shilling earlier, it was called Unipower. It's got 56 followers on Twitter. That project, that coin is garbage. It's only 100 lines of code of garbage. It's high school math. It doesn't do anything. So this thing that you were talking about earlier, it's not good to come on to a show and shill stuff like that when you've not even read the code. Bad idea.
You're going to get my disclaimer here anyway in a few minutes because I'm going to.
So can you cover something real quick, Hex, good texture?
Yeah.
A lot of us do hear a phrase, even like a lot of, outside of Hex or whatever, you hear a phrase. And I know that this went on a lot in 2016 and so forth about Bitcoin Cash, just as an example, and say, okay, well, this is this, but that is that. On Etherscan, you can look up maybe a specific token name, and because you type it in the search engine, 7 or 8 contracts and different things will pop up. So can you explain better how you looked at saying it was the same thing that someone else might be talking about? Because the word or the vocabulary choice of saying Unipower or power or whatever maybe looks at a different contract.
I'm wondering, like, what kind.
Yeah, I'll go over that. I'll answer your question, Funding Jim. I can answer your question on that. So it was talking about this thing called Unipower. So when you go to Google, Unipower, and he said that it was 6 days old. So I went to the Google or whatever and typed in Unipower, and this website came up called unipower.network, and that seems pretty high level. So I clicked it, and it said it was 6 days old. So I said, okay, that looks legit. So I clicked the trade button, and it brought up the contract address, and it was everything. It was synonymous with what he had said on the stream, and I went to the contract address and then looked at the code from there.
Okay, and can you tell if there might be, if I went to Etherscan and put in Unipower or whatever the phrase might be of any type of research? I'm just trying to ask the question of how would you do for a layperson that doesn't look at code? How would you basically verify that, it's a Telegram of 500 people, it's got 50 people following it on Twitter? I mean, I heard this stuff in 2016 and 17 when people would say, do your own research. But what are good tools for someone, like in this example, to say, this is probably what they're talking about, or maybe there's 6 addresses, I don't know which one they're talking about?
I mean, I would, if it's linked to their Twitter account or something like that, that would be a good start, is to start on a Twitter account that has a lot of number of followers, maybe a blue check. I think even just something that has a ton of followers like Uniswap Protocol, and then click the link directly that's in their bio and use something like that. Because, if you're Googling, you may end up finding a malicious ad. You bring up a great point.
So I just want to make sure we have the same contract, that we're looking at the same contract, because I have seen a ton of like duplicate coins on Uniswap. Does the contract address that you were looking at end in 509?
I don't have my thing in front of me.
Because I'm looking, and you said 100 lines of code. I'm looking at it. I got 162 lines. Like I said, I'm not a coder. I'm not trying to
garbage. Look at it. Look at the last 4. Look at the last 4 functions. You can read the function names. It's add, subtract, divide, and multiply. I mean, it's a joke. They're just putting filler in that thing to make somebody that doesn't know what they're looking at look like it's real code. It's a joke. It doesn't do anything. You can look through that code. There's nothing in there about trading fees. Nothing. It's total garbage. So what I'm saying is just be careful in the future, especially coming on a show that's not your show, because there's people on Twitter right now that are like, ooh, because of what you said. There's Hex people on Twitter right now that are looking into this, and they're going to get wrecked. So I'm just be careful in the future.
I noticed that, and just
fair enough.
I noticed that when I looked at the HXY contract, because a lot of people talk about the HXY contract. When you look at Etherscan, if you just type in the HXY as a token name, it comes over like 12 or 15 different contracts. So you actually have to go, like you just said, to the specific Telegram or to the specific whatever, and you need to make sure that you have the volume. So they always have this saying about the what is it? The early explorer gets killed, like the first one. The first one in there is like, oh yeah, you got a bunch of arrows in you. Okay,
the path less traveled.
Yeah.
So let me clear all of this up first with the RG3 way of looking at this whole fucking thing. So first of all, anybody out there who is listening to this show and is thinking that there's investment advice in here, you're already fucked because you're making a big mistake. Listen to me or any of the people that I'm bringing, because I just open this up to anybody who wants to come in here and talk. Now, my disclaimer is this: if you're playing around with crypto, it better be your fun money. All of it better be your fun money. This better not be fucking retirement funds. This better not be credit card money. And I know a bunch of you sitting in the chat, sitting on the show, there's 87 of you right now, are doing that shit. And if you're doing that shit, you're pushing yourself to getting wrecked. Because if you're trading, if you're credit carding, if you're doing any of that shit, it better be your fun money. And you better be ready to lose it. Because a whole bunch of people from this day backwards already have. They've already lost all their shit. They've already maxed out credit cards and got themselves in trouble. So if you're going to play that game, make sure that you aren't using money that you can't afford to lose. So that's what I'm saying here on this show. This is a place for us to talk about Hex. This is a place for us to talk about crazy shit, weird shit, jerking off, porn, whatever. We can play with it, whatever you guys want to play with. We can talk about red pill shit. We can talk about all that stuff and eat shit and bark at the moon, basically, is what we're doing here. But, we all have one common focus, one common goal, and that is we are all pretty endeared to a project called Hex. And that means that we believe in it in the crypto space. Again, my confidence in the crypto space is shaky at best. I love it. I love playing in it. I like this project. I like all the people involved in it. And that's what this show is for all of us to have a good time and talk about all this shit. So that's the disclaimer of Discourse Syndicate, is that you better not be taking no fucking financial advice from this show. And I'm not saying that as a disclaimer. I'm just saying you fucking stupid if you is.
I'm with you, man. I appreciate you guys having me come on. And
thanks, Hexillionaire. Again,
I want to hear about this grand solar minimum someday. That sounds cool, man.
Oh shit, that's the fucking hollow moon shit. Now you guys can hollow moon it with each other.
That has nothing to do with hollow moon, man. That's fucking fake. All that shit. That's so real. That's fucking
what?
Real.
Get off this show, man. Who are you? Get off this show.
I said hollow moon is fake. I said I don't agree with that. What the fuck? You get off it. What do you mean?
You fucking kid drive me crazy, man. Hollow moon's fake, but this hit.
No, I didn't say the moon's fake. I said the hollow moon theory is fake. That's
what I'm saying. The hollow moon theory is fake. But the other thing,
everybody knows it's a disc and it's just being projected from a light.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, it's a plasma field or whatever these crazy.
What are we talking about, man? We're on a flat Earth, bro.
That's
right.
Why the moon is projected.
Come on, guys! I really want you guys to take us into the 21st century, please. Just into the fucking 21st century. I just want to get there, man. I just want to get there. My grandfather rode a fucking horse to school. All right, and you guys are talking about fucking titanium moons and shit. Come on, a horse to school. My grandfather rode a fucking horse to school.
Imagine if we subsidized in 1885 the horse breeders like we're subsidizing automakers and plane manufacturers currently. Where the fuck would we be? I gotta go. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate
all right, brother.
It.
Good having you on, man. Good texture, fucking making it exciting, man.
Yeah.
Look, man.
He sold that coin nice, though. I will say.
He did. And that's why I had to get
Well, I was going to have this conversation here before we ended, because everybody's thinking so highly of themselves. Yeah. Come on back on, Motley. Come on back on. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on. We've already been on for 3 fucking hours. I can't believe there's this many people listening to our
FN Hangout, man.
Hangout. So I was going to say, he sold it good, but that's what I was going to tell everybody. You can't take any of this shit. If you're listening to this shit and you're taking it for fucking real, I mean, I got news for you. You're putting yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in, because this is no place to be looking for financial advice. And anybody who's trading, I'm going to tell you right now, like I told him, you're crazy. If you're looking at charts and thinking you're trading in crypto, you're crazy. I mean, good texture does it to fuck with people.
Hey, I got some pretty good calls, man. I got some good calls. You can look through my history. Some of them are wrong, some of them, but some of them are pretty good.
The fucking clock's fucking right. A dead broken clock's work right two times a day, right?
Hey, but here's my big one. Here's my big one, and this one's gonna put me. This one's gonna put me in the history books. 33 cents in 2020. That's gonna go in the history books.
I saw you right there.
Hey, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for looking out on that Unipower though. Bought some.
Yeah.
I did. I dumped right as soon as you got on and told me the code was bad. I dumped it.
The code's garbage. I'm angry.
And that's the problem. Like if you don't know code, you don't know what you're buying.
Like I'm upset about that. Like people are gonna
as soon as you said shit, I was like, I'm out.
Because people are gonna be like, "Oh, RG3 show, man. That's where they give bad advice about shitty ass code, man. That's terrible."
I'm glad you came on.
I appreciate you looking out for me, man. But believe me, there's been better people that have done worse to me. So,
dude, I just made $5 off Unipower.
I think I lost 10, so you probably got some of mine.
Thanks, Motley, for your trade.
You're welcome.
Like,
Can it be the same one? Because I looked and it was $400 of liquidity or something like that. I was like,
me, 2 ETH. 2 ETH.
2 ETH.
2 ETH.
Liquidity.
Roughly. Yeah, 2 ETH. Oh, that's too funny.
Now the price is going to crash. Everybody pulled it
check it right now.
You got on, I was fine. I was like, I'm out.
Discourse Syndicate dumps Unipower.
I listened to this FOMO
And it
talk,
made
but I
sense
always
the way it
look
was
into
talking
first
about it, but
before
the
buying.
code's bad.
It didn't make a goddamn bit of sense.
Yo, he sold it so good though.
No, like
Yeah.
it's just like BNB with an exchange. Like Uniswap is the next big thing. If it worked the way he said it was, it made sense. But
Yeah.
the code didn't add up. So
I mean,
as soon as
B-
Good Texture said that, I was
B-
out.
So
B-
why does
I-
the scam coin have a listing in Uniswap, but Hex doesn't?
It doesn't. You have to have a direct link. It doesn't have
You
a
do.
real. You have to have
Yeah.
a direct link. It doesn't.
I
have
pulled it right up. I just did a search for it, and it came right up.
I had to go get the direct link.
Did you?
Yeah, I had to
I
go
don't know.
get the
Oh,
address.
you've been messing
You might
with
have
it,
bought
Connect.
something else. There's
Yeah.
something uni
I had
something.
to check
You've
it
been
out.
in there. You've been in there diddling with the Unipower.
Don't worry what I play with.
It cookied
man.
it for you.
If anybody watching knows code, go look at that smart contract.
that bad,
And
huh?
I mean, he's declaring functions in there for how to do addition, dividing, subtracting, and adding. Like I feel like he's just putting garbage in there just
So
to
it's a
bulk
fuck
up
you
the
code.
I think it is. That's
a
really
fuck
what
you
I think it is. Somebody go in and double check that.
Verify,
like
yeah.
anybody, double check and verify that I'm actually up in arms for a legitimate reason. Because
It's really fucking good. It pumps the
I'm willing not to take the chance.
DeFi project of
I'm out.
2020.
I think
There's
he's got
nothing-
a bag and he's putting and then FOMOing back and forth.
There's nothing in that code that has anything to do with trading fees whatsoever. And he told us that that's what it's for. It's for
Right.
collecting trading fees from Uniswap. And I looked through there. I looked through it 3 times. There's
Can't find
nothing
it.
in there about trading fees whatsoever. And I'm like, what is this?
Hold up.
You got the
Yeah.
contract link, Good Texture?
I'm like on my phone
okay.
thing.
I was gonna say-
But you can go to it's on. So go to Twitter and go to Unipower. So if you go to Unipower, and then it'll bring up their Twitter page, and you can click their website. It's I think it's called unipower.network. So you go to that, and then like right there at the top it says trade. And if you click trade, that'll give you the address, and you can take that address and go into Etherscan, and then click the button that says contract, and you can pull it up.
Unipower token.
Yeah, they're joking about it, stuff like that. You know, they're saying it's proof of liquidity or it's
Yeah,
proof of proof.
I don't even.
Token proof that you have to-
I don't even want to look at this shit anymore. It's wasting my fucking time right now.
Well, anybody else watching this a coder, please bring that thing up and
I
see if
don't
it also looks like garbage to y'all. 'Cause
I
It looks
don't
like garbage to me.
I'm sure you're right.
If I'm calling Bitcoin garbage, everything else is garbage.
Bitcoin's long. There's a lot of code
Good
in
luck,
there.
good luck going through all that.
I've never even looked at it. I've never looked at code once anywhere.
Well, okay, Bitcoin code is terrible. Like I'm surprised that people take it as seriously as they do.
I know it's spaghetti
garbage.
code, though. I can tell you it's
Yes,
spaghetti
it's
code.
terrible.
Fuck
so
yeah.
Adding and subtracting are awesome, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So why do you need so many lines of code to add and subtract?
Because you're dividing and multiplying, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, people in the chat are talking about, you should stick with Hex. You're right. You
Yeah,
should
stick with Hex. Yeah.
It's a great fucking.
It was only 2 ETH.
audited.
It was only 2 ETH.
Contract is done. You don't have to. Good Texture's already looked at it. He's cool with Hex's contract. So
I actually study Hex's contract like probably once a day, just to look it over and like looking at man. Half the damn code is just about the Bitcoin claiming. Seriously, there's a ton of code in there just for the Bitcoin claiming. All the staking and everything is like, it's not that much. I mean, it's it's there, but man, they took a lot of effort into claiming the Bitcoins.
Here's a point that I actually like, and I think that values the project. A lot of people like to talk about Richard in a negative light. A lot of us like to talk about him in a positive light. A lot of us know the history of about 10 years of constant gaming and things like that he was doing in anticipation of someone else's move might be 6 or 7 steps ahead. So I think he's really the best person because of all the slings and arrows that I think he knew he was going to get when this got released. So when Good Texture looks at the code and he says, look at all this shit that went into the claiming process to make sure that all the Bitcoin people, they're going to say, oh, I'm not a maximalist anymore. Let's look at that. Oh yeah, here's the thing, here's the back door, here's the trap, here's the setup. There's so many things that when you're going to get scrutinized, you're going to do that shit straight. You're going to do it right. And
I remember him talking about the intricacies of the Bitcoin claiming and all the stuff that they had to write for that because they hid they figured out a way to so that when your signature is done, you don't have to expose yourself somehow. I forget what the code did for that, but I heard him talking about it one time. But I know that it was pretty. He talked about how intricate it was.
It's definitely like I look at some of that code, and that's the reason I look at it so often is just to try and look at it, digest it, go to sleep, think about it. And that Bitcoin code, some of it I don't understand what it's doing. I'm not able to comprehend some of it. And
that won't matter in a few months anyway. It'll be just junk on the code.
But it's
so how much of that code is just to verify the unspent transaction record to make sure that you had it in your wallet at that time?
You mean the Bitcoin component?
Yeah, the Bitcoin portion.
Right? So it's like 20. It's a little over 2,800 lines, the entire thing, but it's loaded with tons of comments. So I mean, I don't know what percentage of the whole file is comments, but it's massive. And then at least a clean 1,000 out of that 2,900 is just straight Bitcoin claiming code.
Okay.
So I mean, it's like at least a good 30%.
Franklin St. Hex said in the comments that he thinks the focus was mainly on claims because Richard thought there'd be more claims. For as much work as they put in, I'm just really surprised these Bitcoin maxis aren't claiming their free coins. There's just not a lot of claim coins in perspective for how many are out there on the market that are claimable.
Yeah, they're going to FOMO claim last month.
Last minute.
Words.
They won't have
after 98% of their state or their stack is gone. Yep,
which is cool. Go to us.
Crypto grandma. Yeah.
I like Franklin. That's a good guy.
I think so too.
So I don't want to bash a specific coin or anything like that, but when you think about the lending coins that get talked about, like where they'll pay you an interest rate, I think that's one of the pitches that had been, kind of compared to Hex, which is completely different than Hex, but compared to saying, oh, if I buy this token and I send it in, or I have a token and I send it into a centralized, platform, and they're going to pay me Bitcoin, for example. I give them my Bitcoin, they're going to give me back more than my Bitcoin I gave them. Isn't that the same thing in banking where you put your savings account, your checking account, or anything can be kited because you have a ledger entry and maybe you're going to get a little bit of interest on it, maybe even 1 or 2% interest. But isn't that money that's you're giving to a bank then used by the borrowers from that bank to do all kinds of shenanigans? I mean, it can be shorting the same market that you're valuing. You are valuing real estate, or you are valuing crypto, or you are valuing gold or silver, but that value is shorted with your own token that you gave to a centralized party. To your own thing that you gave to a centralized party. So what I'm saying is, if I gave 100 ounces of gold to somewhere and they said, we will pay you interest for that, let us hold it, we'll give you interest payments or whatever. and later you can claim it back and get it physically back to you. But all in the meantime, isn't the reason why interest is paid to me so that same quote unquote capital can be borrowed by someone else to short the same market I'm in? I don't understand how. That's what he was saying earlier about HEX being something that reinforces itself. It's paying holders through the staking function and through the mathematics of the code with HEX token versus lending it to a centralized party that lends it out to someone else that shorts my same market. So Richard, like even 6 or 7 months ago, was saying about, if you could figure out how to short HEX. How do you short HEX?
You can't. You can't short something that constantly grows.
Right. I mean, you can take maybe economic energy out of going into HEX by distracting investors into doing something else with that economic energy. You say, oh, let's put it over in this token because it goes faster and it's based on HEX, like the HEX run kinds of things and things like that. You might distract or divert energy, but I don't think you can really short it. Can you short it?
You can make that sort of a market, but you have to create it. So essentially, you would need to buy a bunch of HEX, and then from there allow people to short it, right? But you have to create like 2 counterparties, I think, in order to make that work out, right? But I think it will be done eventually. I think if I remember correctly, they were waiting on V2 to come out for Uniswap, so they're working on something for an exchange to short HEX, and I think you're gonna get fucking wrecked. But people want. I mean, short. I mean, just the one big thing I did learn from Richard is like how terrible in terms of a deal. You're always better off longing than shorting. But I mean, either way, if you're going to choose between 2 devils, I would pick the longing than I would shorting because it's damn near infinite on the opposite side. It's short. Right. Money could go to like nothing, and right. it's and then add a leverage on top of that. It's insane, dude. It's like you don't need that kind of stuff. I mean, eventually, maybe in 10 years, we will need leverage in a more developed market where the swings are just like 1-2% a day at most on these cryptos and stuff. Now, like we have like 5, 10, 20% swings sometimes on these cryptos. So why the fuck do you need leverage for the most part? Right. But on a really developed market, like sort of like the gold market, that market's been around for 5,000 years. And I know it's manipulated as hell, but the average person that makes any money from gold, they're doing 5 to like 10x leverage in order to make anything off of gold. And then that's why people like Peter Schiff and all these other people are like, dude, did you see the gigantic move? We're up 1% today on gold. And then the reason they care about that is because, they got most of their portfolio in gold, and 2, they did some 10x leverage move on it. So that it's substantial on their part, because it's like, our portfolio just went up like a crazy amount. But that's why people care. I mean, dude, if you have a lot of your wealth kind of diversified a little, but you don't really care. I mean, you care when it goes up a lot, but the reason people care so much about Bitcoin is because they have like 80% of their entire savings in Bitcoin. So if that doubles, they're like, holy shit, Too
much.
A lot of people have way more than they should have in crypto, but that's what people do. That's why even the maxis care so much, because all their economic energies in one thing.
Hey,
that's why they care so much.
I haven't talked to you yet, I don't think, before. Who is in the green hat? Your name is cut off in this frame.
It's Kinetics.
Kinetics, cool, man. I've talked to you a bunch before. Cool.
Yeah, okay. Man. Yeah,
man. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Motley. I think it's their first time talking. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, good texture came in here. He had some fucking skulls to bash for me. So
yeah, you did.
It's my muscle, man. He had to do some work for me. So
I'm glad I kept watching.
I have a question about a consensus out of the 5 people in this room that can say so. Would you say that the value of Bitcoin right now is higher than the price point that buyers have bought? I mean, the most recent trade is really setting the value of anything. Because all of these things that you see with the coin market cap, it's the most recent price that was paid for something across big exchanges, multiplied times the number of coins that are out there. but that doesn't mean that a majority or even close to the majority have paid that price point. So do you think that more people are effectively in at least paper version of profitable position and their Bitcoin is worth more than what they paid for it? Or do you think that a lot of people are actually negative in the value of what they paid for it and they're waiting for that to come back?
I think they're chasing that value.
Yeah, the best way to check this out is to actually look at the transaction volume on the Bitcoin network. And the highest transaction volume ever in history was at the very end of 2017 when the network became so overloaded that transaction fees were like $50. And I think you can use that as the metric by which to gauge when the largest mass of people got in. And I would say, according to that, most people are underwater.
And that's just it. The people that had Bitcoin, they weren't selling at 20 grand. They some of them may have sold what they wanted to at 20K, but those people are hodlers. They're hodling it. They're not getting rid of it. They're maximalists. Those 2,000 wallets that own 42% of it, they ain't doing shit with it. It's all of that, like you said, it's all of that economic energy that came in at the end of 2017 that bought at 16, 17, 18K when it was, that are still sitting on their Bitcoin that are holding on to it. So that's where I think a lot of the
I know people have
values
been holding Bitcoin for a while and they had sold it over the years from 2013 and so forth in different surges, $1,000, $1,200 points and things like that. And then when it did hit close to, I think one of my friends had something like 800 Bitcoin and they just dumped it all really at like the 17,000 mark. They're like, let's get out for a while.
Smart guys.
Smart.
Yep.
And they really haven't re-entered a position on Bitcoin. They haven't said, it's undervalued enough where I need to buy it again. They really don't even think about that right now. And they're not living crazy baller life, that wasn't different than their baller life before. But they were like, I really don't need to have more multiples. Like I'm
couple X, if
know?
that.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of hunger is in the outside that says, here's a great opportunity. Let me get back into Bitcoin. Or how many really are just promoting Bitcoin's great because you're hoping it gets back to that price and a little margin above because you hope that faith is restored.
Yeah, because they're all sitting at those 2,000 wallets. They're all sitting good at 9K. Believe me, 8K, 9K. They're sitting good. They're more than likely not hurting. So why not shill all this shit and keep pushing it and keep keep the energy behind it and all that. And then there's the other group of people who bought at the end of 2017 and they're shilling because they got to have it go back up.
Well, it's always going to be easier. And Richard makes this point quite a bit. Everybody in this room really has about it's so much easier just from basic psychology to have something that's relatively low value multiply than something that's relatively high economic math multiply.
Hey, Lietcoin, mute your mic.
Yeah, are you eating, bro? There you go.
Snack and Pringles.
He's eating something. He turned the screen off, so I don't know what he's eating, to be honest.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So the economic energy it takes to go 5x on Bitcoin and go to 50 grand or whatever it might be. That interest and that news story and that newsworthiness, just do people buy in at 50 grand easier in mass?
They will.
I think a lot of it, somebody mentioned earlier about like Max Kaiser, and you've got like Max Kaiser, the Winklevoss twins, Barry Silbert. You've got all these mega whales in Bitcoin. And if these guys actually do see the writing on the wall and they know that Bitcoin has really reached its end of, I guess not end of life, but end of success, these guys have to keep the price pumped because the liquidity pool of Bitcoin is really not large enough.
It's not that big.
It's not large enough for
these
guys.
It's not that big for them to exit scam.
They can't dump their bags.
They can't.
Right. Yeah.
They've got to trickle it out. They've got to keep the hype going for a good year or so to trickle it out.
Yeah.
And
the guy I was talking about, that he didn't sell it a lot. He sold like 800 coins at 17,000, so whatever that number is. He did it OTC. I mean, he just sold it straight. He made a deal with some other business that bought him out, and they bought it for $2,000 under the market, and they felt like they were getting a great deal or something.
I'm laughing at myself right now.
Sell my wearables is OTC once the prices go up crazy. I mean, because I've already had discussions with this with people in Decentraland. Is that's actually the move when the market's really frothy, is that you got to sell OTC, because if you don't sell OTC, you'll end up dumping the price crazy amounts because you have so much of the supply.
What is OTC? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Off chain, basically.
Oh, just off the chain. Okay.
Over the
gotcha.
over the counter.
Over the counter.
All right.
That's what it stands for. You back alleying it.
Yep. Yeah.
Transferring it to somebody else's wallet, like
Yeah.
like when we saw that big move. What was it? Right before the whole OneCoin thing happened or whatever, there was a big move and it freaked everybody out just because some Bitcoin moved, and that was probably one of those transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Just going from one wallet to another or something.
Yeah, Litecoin, don't be crashing the wearables market by selling your Jordans and your Chuck Taylors, man.
Hey, so I'm just laughing because I was listening to us all talk, and I know that I push a lot of this fuck Bitcoin thing, you know, but I mean, this is like the only fucking channel that I've heard this kind of shit being spoken on. It's like, well, this is blasphemy right here, because every other channel, I mean, even the shitcoin channels, even the people that are shilling their own shit, nobody talks shit about Bitcoin. It's like
Nobody.
It's
Really?
like
Absolute nobody.
I don't know how you don't see the signs. Like, I mean, I'm out of Bitcoin for a reason. Like, I think it's everywhere, but I think it's just bag holders at this point.
they're gonna hate us even more.
Yeah.
Overtake them.
They start hearing this shit.
Well, I exited out of a shitcoin that I had way too much into, and then that exit about 2018, like mid 2018, went back into Bitcoin. So I was like, okay, I'll dump from this crap shit into Bitcoin, and it just became Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin, I think at the time maybe it was more recent. When was Bitcoin $3,400? What time frame was that?
That was like a little over a year ago.
So right around that time frame, I was like, I got to get out of this shitcoin. It's gonna be horrible. This
Good
is
time.
bad.
Yeah.
And it moved me into Bitcoin at 3,400 or whatever it was.
Same.
So the time frame was good, because then OneCoin or whoever it is pumped it up to 14,000, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yay! I'm saved.
Shitcoin. Bitcoin. Shitcoin. Hey, real quick, I want to say hey to so everybody in the chat room. I'm sorry, I can't fucking do a couple things at once. So thanks for being in the chat room and hollering it up. And Lazor, I want to show a shout out to you. You're the freaking Twitter master, dude. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Everybody else in the chat, thanks, and thanks for monitoring it. I don't care what people say in it; it doesn't matter. Say whatever you want.
You also got Vince and Grandma in the house too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Crypto Grandma, that's good seeing you again. I hope we're
still
not
need
being
to go
too
watch your video.
foul mouthed, but
You flipping off the screen last time? I thought I saw her flipping off the screen or calling people names or.
no, she said, "Don't get wrecked."
Don't get wrecked.
Don't get wrecked.
That's awesome.
She threw out a couple things. We got to get her on again one of these days. So, all right, guys, it's been fucking 3 hours. I mean, we can keep going.
Real quick.
Wait
There was
for
a lot
hours.
of questions in the chat for Good Texture on what his basis for 33
Oh,
cent.
yeah, let's go ahead and talk about
Hex is.
33 cent. Price predictions.
Just fractals. That's it. Just comparing.
There you go, guys. Go ahead.
Oh.
Zip them. Let's
After
go.
he says that, I wanted to say something about an earlier comment, but I really want to hear how you got the 33 cent. Then I have one last statement.
The as much as I'm going to say, I'm just going to say for now, it's just comparing fractals. That's all it is. It's just comparing fractals. I'll get deeper into it.
Now I believe you.
Well,
When you said fractals, you had me right there. Fractals has to be some good shit. When you say
I know RG3 is salty about TA and trading cryptos on a chart, but I'll tell you what, man, all charts is just psychology, just what people are thinking.
You know, RG3 is freaking salty on everything. I'm just
and
get
we
off
love
my
him for
fucking
it.
lawn.
I love it.
I can make it. Go ahead.
My point, I was going to say, RG3 said something earlier about a half hour ago, and he was talking about onboarding someone. I think he was saying something about they either had asked him a question, they're asking him about Hex, and he had said something like, well, let me just walk you through the whole process, sent them ETH. Didn't send them Hex, sent them ETH.
That was smart.
And walked them through it, said, hey, click on this link, which of course was probably his referral link. And there's certain things that you can do that are in a small way onboarding people, and I think are very safe to do. Because one, it's your client, you know this person, it's KYC, it's AML compliant. You basically just, as a merchant, as a business person, I think I'm going to take up some of the ideas that RG3 said earlier. And it also kind of plays on what even Hexologist had said on one of his streams was, you can try and convert people that are already crypto, that already have bags and other things. You can tell them about Hex. You can say, this is how this works and why it's different. You can go through all of that story. And honestly, some of us have this history that makes us more resistant to the idea of something new. But bringing someone from the outside that really hasn't even been involved, and really when the threshold of risk, in my opinion, is low. I'm not saying I want people to dump their equity in something else or other assets into Hex, even as much as I personally believe in it. But I thought it was interesting how RG3 sent ETH, sent a link, took the time, invested his time, both to educate and to walk someone through the process. This is how you do it. This is what you can do. You go to Uniswap, you can buy it, whatever. Walks through as much time as he wants to invest, both into his friend, possibly, a client, possibly, of a business that he might own. And I was thinking that I would do things like that because I have, maybe 7 or 8 Airbnbs. Sometimes I give people some kind of coupon. And I say, oh, if you come back in the future, then I'll give you $50 off your next booking. Just contact me directly instead of through Airbnb, because through Airbnb, you lose 25%. You've been here before, come again. So I do the same kind of business stuff to have that that onboarding cost of a new client. We have acquisition cost. And now that person's had an experience with me, my acquisition cost is less to keep them or have them return than it is to bring someone new. And my point is, in a small way, you can almost do like a cashback kind of system with your own business or enterprise, or how you want to involve other people that are not crypto people. And I was thinking, I already have merchant accounts, and I already can bill people through a Cash App or through Venmo or things like that. I can do all that kind of stuff. And an easy way to do it might be that you say, hey, blah, 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 as a coupon, as a giving, as a freebie, I would like to send you a little bit of Ethereum, $10, $20, hardly anything. Here's how you do it. Get an address, and you walk them through how to get an address. You can even, if you wanted to, you go through the time of MetaMask. But I'm just saying, as a teaser, as an email, as a, hey, why don't you follow up with me in the future, but I have sent you this. It's in this wallet. Here's how you can claim it. Whatever you want to do, you can look up different methods to do it for yourself. And either you can say, that's my own cost. I'm going to invest into this potential person that might later use my link or something like that, or ask me more questions. Or it can be like, I already charge X dollars for a night in a Airbnb. I'm just going to build it into that cost. Hey, there's $10 more that they're effectively are paying me, because they're going to pay through the merchant. They're going to pay through Airbnb. I'm going to charge that amount. I know my cost isn't that high compared to what I'm charging. And I'm going to take that $10 and I'm going to give it to them in Ethereum with a link that says, the Hex referral link, the 20% or whatever it might be. And basically, here's how you can get 10% more. It just provides an opportunity for onboarding in a way that they didn't have a freak out. They didn't have a cost. They didn't have to go through MoonPay or Wire or how do I get this Ethereum thing you're talking about? No, I just send you $10 worth of Ethereum and walk you through the Hex process. And that's really a freemium. To them, it's a freemium. To me, it's cost of doing business.
Yeah. But what's, if they do stick a stake out there 10 years, what's $40 worth of Hex today going to look like in 10 years? They might be coming back kissing you all upside your ass from that.
Yeah.
So, but here's, let me ladder on that. So my focus was to take this. Of course, this person is a friend. This person, well, she's been on the show. It's our friend Nerd Girl, and I told her, hey, let me send you some Hex. Let me send you. Let me show you how to onboard. And so I was going to send her some ETH, but I'm thinking, that's all you people out there who are trolling and shit posting on people's stuff. Hey, tell them, hey, Hexo says this all the time. Hey, I'll send you some ETH and show you how to use Hex and show you how easy it is and show you how to stake. And I mean, $5 here, $10 there, $3 here, $4 here. I mean, you can onboard a lot of, like I said in the beginning of the show, it's going to be crypto users that we see at Big Payday. So that I'm going to tell you, it's going to be one person is going to domino effect a lot. It's going to be a black swan event that's going to set off. I mean, we're going to have a big set off at the end of Big Payday, or by the time Big Payday comes, but it's going to be a black swan event. It's going to be somebody is going to hit the right person, onboard somebody the proper way, the right way. They're going to get interested and they're going to say something. It's going to be a big person. And whether it's a Joe Rogan or whether it's, somebody that's in crypto, a big name, and Ivan on Tech who finally decides he's going to start, shilling Hex or, something somewhere, but we're going to get an ally somewhere and it's going to create a domino effect. And the way to do it is that way. Help people to onboard, send them some ETH and show them how to get in the AA. I mean, it's going to run them through the process. They're going to see it. The thing I told her was, you're going to mint your own coins. So you're going to get into the AA tonight, and then you're going to mint your coins tomorrow. So that was like, oh, so this is real. You really do mint your own coins. I said, yes, it was. It's not just talk. You literally are going to have to go back in there tomorrow and mint your coins. So, so it was like, oh, okay. So they start to understand the process and what it really is. And then that gets them to thinking, wow, well, what is this about the share price now? What is this? Once they stake and they see the difference between, well, what if I just stake for 30 days or 60 days? Or wait, if I put in for 5 years, I get this much? This is my gains? This is my big payday? Wow.
Well, that's the downside, is you can't tell them what they're going to make in 5 years.
No, you can't. But they can, as they're staking, they can see some of a prediction of what that's going to look like, of what big payday could look like for them and their stake at that time. And what at least what their share price is going to look like and what their shares are going to look like.
Well, you don't want them to drink out of a fire hose and basically get overwhelmed, but you don't want it to be so simplistic either.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to start dissecting the share price and knowing what big payday is. Once they get in the adoption amplifier and they go into the staking tool, they're going to be able to look at it and see what we all saw. It's like, oh, and then there's questions after that. And those questions, you look at the numbers and then you say, okay, well, that looks good. And then you start to question it all. And then that's when you start going down the rabbit hole of Hex and start to learn, and there's plenty of information out now. We've got plenty enough of these streams where people can literally, go listen to Richard or listen to all of us and what we've been talking about and get enough information where they can go, oh, okay, I get this now. I get this. And then the freaking chat rooms or the Telegram rooms are all you got to do is go in there and ask a question and boom, they're on you like flies telling you what, what's going on. So, I mean, onboarding people, important. Running them through the process and do it with crypto people. It with crypto people, because one crypto person is going to know Ivan real well, or be his cousin, or know somebody out there that's it's gonna land in somebody's lap. It will.
So an interesting thing that just got said in the live comments also is to keep in mind the AA will go away in 6 months. So some of the framing of the messages, even in these chats, can be about the after AA ends, after big payday, after whatever celebration or sadness or happiness or whatever giddy volatility that happens in late November. There will still be this up to 369% or whatever percent, whatever the type is. If only 1% ever is staking and everybody is staked and you're only getting 3.69, I mean, that kind of messaging is going to get reinforced. So, I just look at the bringing new people in without them really being at risk has always been my position. If I can onboard you for $5 and a half hour of my time, I'm investing into more than just you caring about Hex. I'm investing into the relationship that I have with you, or the potential business client relationship or personal relationship I may have with you. So, I mean, these are all investments that you're making, and it doesn't have to be a dollar amount or crypto amount. These are relationships that matter, especially in times now where everybody wants to be divisive for different reasons.
Yeah.
How long would you stake those people?
Enough to where I would say a year. If they're going to wait 15 years, people forget about it. They even forget they even had the wallet. So I'd say a year.
I agree.
Why don't you just watch it and just pay attention? And then
that's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. Because are you doing it because I'm not doing it to help them to? I'm not doing that to. I'm doing it to make the introduction. I don't have to be the Jedi. There's plenty of Jedi resources online if people have real curiosity.
let
It's
them
almost
fall
like
down
you're-
the hole.
Look at the numbers on traditional CDs out there, and that's going to kind of give you a clue as to how Hex is going to look in the after big payday, because this is the Wild Wild West right now. We're in the Wild Wild West. This is not what Hex is going to look like. It's not. After December of next year, or after December, it's going to change. Hex, the face of Hex is going to change. The way people stake is going to change. You're going to see people using Hex like a CD. It's going to be, you're going to have 3, 5, and 10-year CDs more than likely is how people are going to get into them. You'll have some 1-yearers or whatever, but I think that it's just going to look more like a CD. People are just going to come in, stake their, get their gives, and stake and treat it just like a CD.
Mm-hmm.
Because this part's going to be over. The party's going to be over. The big payday's gone. The people who got in and bought 1 ETH or 1 million Hex for 1 ETH is going to be a legend. Those people will all disappear. They won't be around anymore because they're all going to be So I mean, it's the face of Hex is going to change after next year.
That's what I noticed. The early people, they always disappear. Like there are so many people that I used to chat with and stuff about Bitcoin back in like 2013. They're all gone. I have no idea where any of them are.
They're sitting on fucking islands, bro.
I mean, when I bought Hex, like I felt bad too, because like after I did my 40 days of laddering in, I disappeared. Like I wasn't in y'all's chats, telegrams, or anything. And then I'd say probably after the big spike, I got back in. It's like, oh shit, like I need to kind of do my part, start my YouTube channel and everything. But it's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Some of them are still around. You'll see some of these, like there's a guy on Twitter. His name's like Flibber Marketplace or something. There's some OG Bitcoin accounts that are still around that were back on the old Bitcoin markets, but a lot of them are gone. Some of them are around.
Right on. All right, guys.
Thanks,
I'm fucking closing this thing down, man. This is a 3 hour and 30-minute live stream. I mean,
3 hour tour.
I did the 24 and it
tour.
gives me a freaking bad taste in my mouth after that 24 hour, man. That was, killed me, man. I was like,
how much of that did you do?
The whole thing.
All
God
of
You did the whole
damn
thing?
it.
Hey, I went to work. I went to work.
Man,
I don't
you know
know.
what?
I came
That's
back
what-
after work. Maybe
I've had it with all you guys. I was on the fucking 24 hour for 24 hours with Hexo.
Hexo gets all the credit.
He got all the credit. And I'm the one who suggested it. We were talking late at night. I was like, hey, dude, let's, and he's like, yeah, I want to do something. I said, let's freaking, I wanted to do it here, but he's like, oh, no. So he downloaded StreamYard. So,
He got
and
you.
I did, and everybody's like, Hexo, yeah. And he got all the, all the credit, and they paid him all his money, and,
Yeah.
tipped him and all that stuff.
He's the
You got
Bitcoin
like
Hex.
Yeah.
First
Like
market
a
mover.
$500 tip.
Yeah.
Had a fire.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, and I'm
He
going
knew
to
what
say
he was
this.
doing.
I'll say this right now. Nobody deserves it more than that man. That man
Yeah.
works
Hard.
harder
He works.
than anybody. And
Definitely.
all of this whole Hex game, man. The guy's every day diligent with a fucking smile too.
Yeah, he's
And
a
the guy's
sweetheart.
about to have a baby.
Is
He's
he
about
really?
to have a baby.
It's really hard to believe that guy's a Marine, because he's so kind.
Mormon. Yeah, Mormon.
No,
Marine.
I know a bunch of them like
The
that.
Mormon
A bunch of them
Marine.
are.
Nice guy.
Bunch of them are. Yep.
Yeah.
There's some.
Well, how does it feel to ride on the shoulders of giants there, RG3?
Yeah. I'm always gonna be on his coattail. That's for sure.
His
Always
lab
gonna
coat.
be on his coattail. His white freaking smock coattail. All right, guys, I'm shutting it down. Thanks for
bro.
coming on. Hey, great
Enjoyed it.
stream.
Yep.
Thanks, Good Texture, for coming and being my sergeant at arms. Appreciate you, everybody.
Right.
We'll
Thanks
catch you
for
guys
saving
all
my 2 ETH.
next week.
Thanks for your $5, Motley.
Yeah, sold that real quick.
and don't be scared out there, guys. Come see us on the next FN Hangout. And I don't